We are live. I know that you are still watching this intro, but we're working on it.
Good job, Snow.
Hey, we're here.
Yeah.
And we actually did something right, so I'm pretty excited about that. Welcome to the Loma Lounge and Garage, JSC Motorsports, bench racing live shows. We are here at Bob's Turn 5 at Port City Raceway. Obviously, we have some guests tonight. Hopefully, you checked out the post earlier on who we have here tonight. We have Rees Moran and we have Rayhall. We'll get into their stories here in a little bit. But as we always do, when we first get started, I know, Rees, you cannot drink. And you don't drink, so that's okay.
Stick to my water and apple juice.
We got some Geo in the car, bro.
There we go. As we always do, welcome and cheers. Let's have a good show. Cheers to everybody that's here, even the audience. We got an audience.
Janky in the crowd, DTJ, Justin. We got all the boys.
We got a few of them. We normally start with everything that happened from the week before. So we'll get going on
Rain
and heavy restrictions.
Rain. Chappy.
Yeah.
Boulder Battlegrounds in Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I could have planted corn in my field, or in my track.
Is that just because of my 2021 flip, or what? I got super corny in the corn flip?
Dude, my track's unreal right now. That's stupid.
Yeah, I seen Mike Ross on Saturday night at Creek, and he's like, "Man, Shane, the track came apart again."
Oh, it's nuts, man. But it's like making water. It's like literally making water. I've seen a lot of things happen at this place, but I have water like running out of my walls. My infield's like super wet, which, like, obviously it's wet when it rains, but when it stops raining and we till it, it dries out like that. And it remained wet the whole night. Like I just had water in my infield, and I'm like, what in the heck? I'm thinking I got a water leak. And, which I've had a few of those here, but
Yeah.
it's just groundwater. Like, it's just wet. Like, it's crazy wet. But anyway, my track was more than interesting.
I could.
I tried to fix it, but I couldn't. I don't have enough time and equipment to fix it the right way. But it was interesting.
Well, you have a weekly show this week, but you got the Donnie Ray next week, which we'll get into that later too. So I sent you guys some show notes. See, that's a first too. You guys got the first show notes. You might want to save them.
I think it's super professional. Like, for me, I felt like I was going to a guided podcast with my horse racing, and I was like super proud. I was like, that's a proud boy, and it's organized.
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, I would say weren't organized, but
No, we're getting there.
I'm telling you.
You're getting there. I'm not. You do all the work.
you're just the talent.
No, I'm just. I don't know what I am.
So I want to start with the Outlaws, the race 2, Outlaws and USAC, which I think it's atrocious. We got to go back and forth between Dirt Vision and Flow, but I get it.
Mm-hmm.
When you have contracts, you have contracts.
That's all money, man. It's all money.
It's all money. Pain in the ass for us when we're sitting in our garages, living first world problems and switching back and forth on streaming.
Yeah.
I didn't drive 13 hours to Eldora to go watch. I just sat in my garage.
Right.
But anyway, the first night, gravel things.
Yeah. The track was awesome. It was a great race. Great race. And the non-wing race was good too.
Yeah, Bacon won that.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you talk about gravel and his speed at Eldora, he's been fast there for years now, a couple years.
Yeah.
Obviously, winning the Kings Royal last year, handily.
Mm-hmm.
Shots.
Looked like old shots.
Old shots.
Yeah.
Right
rolling through the middle.
Looking like a Tonka
So,
truck.
of course, I'm not really in that world as much as I used to be, but I get a lot of, like, text messages, and it was, okay, how do you think this whole thing's going to go down with the Chevy? I said, listen, you guys are going to have to give it a minute, but he will be back.
Yeah.
He will be back. And,
Yeah, it's just a matter of time. It's like riding a bike. Right?
well, I mean, he was just so used to trying to do things to make a certain engine work, and it didn't work for him. And he races a sprint car a certain way, and he has for years. You can't retrain that brain.
No.
But he was forced to somewhat retrain that brain, right? So now he's having to go back and he's like, oh man, this is gonna be okay, but he's not 25, and the age things it makes a difference. But
we got a loud echo.
I think Shots is gonna be good.
I got something on that shouldn't be on. It's not that. Actually, it was, wasn't it? Yeah, because my phone's still hooked to Bluetooth.
Oh,
Let us know if the echo's going. I was here by myself setting up and I was jamming out. And I had my.
oh yeah, it probably was.
Yeah, let
Wasn't
us
it?
know if it's going.
Yeah.
Thanks, Rod Hurley. Only time he shows up when Reese is here.
Yeah, his boy.
He was my boy. Now you don't even call me no more. He's Papa.
Yeah.
He's a granddad now.
Yeah.
Eric Long, are we talking about chicken tonight? We might talk about chicken. You never know what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
The quickest chicken. Yeah, we'll get into him. Ethan McDermott, what's up? We're talking about the Outlaws and Ethan. The head tech guy. Tara is your. Huh? Echo's still there?
It is?
Dang it.
Give us just a second here.
See, this is like on the track and getting too much rain.
I'm telling you, man. Like, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I think
I know you weren't the only one with that problem, though, because TMS kind of had that same problem as the night went on. We just had water coming up through it all night.
Yeah. You know, I have some really funny stories about TMS. But, you know, they when the NASCAR tracks got together and started building all those sprint car tracks like Charlotte and TMS, I just shook my head. I'm like, oh man, I just wish they would have like condensed them a little bit, you know, and made them smaller, not so much banked, right? Like I always resemble everything to like Peevely or Talladega. Talladega and Peevely is a great size track, and they're just too fast and too big. Charlotte's the same to me. I think it's too big, too fast to put on. I'm like, there is good races there, but it just has to be the perfect remedy.
Yeah, track conditions got to be perfect.
They have to be perfect, and that's hard to do.
We were actually looking at that, Shane. Me and Jakey were talking last night about like some of the tracks in Wisconsin that actually like don't have a lot of notoriety around the states. But like when the World of Outlaws and All Stars used to go there and stuff like that, like Beaver Dam.
Yeah,
some of the
put on great races. Yeah.
We were talking about racing midget this week, like what's too fast for a midget,
Yeah.
or like what we deem too fast, and like we were looking at me, I was showing him some videos of like Cedar Lake. Like some of those are like that borderline, like right when you're getting a little bit too big, but
Right.
like when you go to Charlotte, you're like, hey, we're super speedway racers.
Yeah. No, you would be, absolutely. Yeah, it's... Yeah, I don't know. I just wish, you know, the smaller the track, you know, there's obviously too small, but the smaller the track always puts on a good race.
I agree. Totally.
Whether the track's rough, sticky, slick, it just puts on a better race. And, you know, that's one of the things that, you know, and your dad can contest to this, owning his own business, but... You know, they say when you start your own business, it takes 5 or 6 years to like figure out all the ins and outs, and by God, that's 100% truth. So now I'm like, as a track owner, I'm trying to figure out how do I make port race better, grade easier, because I'm not a dirt guy. Like when I bought the track, I didn't even know how to start my grader. I had no idea. Like, I literally sat in the grader with Mike Ross, and I watched him do the knobs. I didn't have any idea what the knobs were, so I labeled the window what the knobs were, right? And that's how I learned. And, yeah, I mean, over the years, I've gotten a little bit better at it, but when I have, like, problems that I have right now, I'm not good enough on my grader to just go out and fix it during the week. Like, it takes me a little while to do that. So then, to me, I'm like, okay, my straightaways are super flat, my corners are super banked. Like, I need to take banking out, right? Which sounds dumb. Like, you would like, man, no, you don't need to take banking out. But to me, the races that I've really seen and been involved in, they don't have high banking.
Yeah.
Knoxville's not high banked.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Eldora is and Peevely is, but they're the right remedy. And so I'm like in my grader trying to figure out how to do this and that, and on top of that, I don't have like crazy amount of patience.
Yeah.
Right. Like I can't sit on my grader for 8 hours, and that's just not me. I don't have time for one, and if I sit on my grader for 8 hours, I'm delusional. And there's some dirt guys that can do that, right? Like they just get on their grader and it's their happy place, and they understand that world. But there's just so many tracks that we've raced at and seen that are a little bit flatter, and they race so good.
No, I totally agree. My favorite racetrack in a sprint car was closed down now, sadly, but Red Dirt Raceway.
Yeah, it's not banked. It's not banked.
I've never seen a bad race there.
Nope,
Ever.
100%. And honestly, Cody didn't have a lot of equipment. He didn't. So anyway, so that's one of the things I've just been battling in my head of like trying to figure out, because as a promoter, to me, and we've had this conversation with my partner Kevin Rudine. He owns Skagit, right? Skagit is they've dumped I don't even know how much money into Skagit. But Skagit's dirt, the surface, has always been goofy, like since day one. And we've had the conversation of like, you know what? Like at the end of the day, if your track doesn't race the right way and people see a really good race, it doesn't matter. Like how clean your bathrooms are, or how good the food is, or if the pit area is muddy or whatever, like if your racetrack races good and people see a good race, they go away happy, right? Your crowd goes away happy, and the drivers do too. Yeah, and of course all of the other stuff matters, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, if that makes sense.
I almost feel like all that other stuff's a bonus.
It's a bonus.
If I'm going to a racetrack, I want to have a good race or watch it.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't care. I'll go pee in front of the truck if I have to. You know what
100%.
I mean?
And a lot of our customers are that way, right? And so as a track owner, when my track's not right and it's rough, and I see cars getting tore up, and we have a lot of people that don't really know how to race the right way, the right craft. They'll run through the whole 20 laps, and then their arms get tired, and then they finally flip over, and then it's the track's fault.
Yeah.
Well, kind of is, right? So I'm like, I want my track smooth. I want it 2 lanes. I want it 2 lanes in the heat races and the feature, which is really tough to do.
Yeah.
And so I rack my brain all the time trying to figure out how to do things right on that side of it, because we have the rest of it, right? Like our ingredients are great.
Oh, the facility's great.
And I had a guy that I inherited with the track, Kenny. He did the track for probably 4 or 5 years, and I would grade it and then not even worry about any of that. And he kind of honed in on his skills, and then he kind of retired on me, and so now I'm having to kind of relearn that side of it, and it's tough, man. It's even with a little small track like mine, it's hard.
I will say, a lot of people don't know some of the things I'm doing with PTCs on the car, but helping with the track and stuff like that. I didn't realize how many things that track owners, promoters, all this stuff goes to, and I'm dealing with asphalt. Like asphalt's a constant, right? So if it rains, okay, we're racing the wet, boys. Like if it's dry, then we're racing the dry. It's pretty simple, right? But there's so many little things that I think I've realized in the past year and a half about getting really serious with Polecat Training Center in Tennessee and stuff like that. And he even brought up to me, he's like, hey, you think that dirt racing is so important for a young driver to learn, even if they want to go to NASCAR. Like, why was Larson? Why is Bell? Like, Bowman. You just go through the name of the list and how much time they spent on dirt, and that's their roots, right? And I was like, man, like I'm drinking fuel out of the fire hose right now, and like I honestly could not tell you. Like I told him I think it was 4 weeks ago, because we had something really good happen, and I was like, honestly, like I'm not gonna be a part of that. Like I'll be a part of it once it gets running, but we'll probably just call like a Shane Stewart or someone like that. Like,
Don't call me.
Well, call for advice because,
Yeah.
like, there's so many things, and I'm good friends with Rich Farmer and stuff like that. There's so many little things that go into making this work. And, like, I don't think anyone realizes in order to make it work, and you have to manage rainouts. You have to manage nights that, like, people aren't coming here. You have to manage all that, but you also have to put a little prize money in the basket for the micro kids. You have to do all these things that people don't look at, like the numbers and like how the whole structure works. And now that I've had to start like looking at numbers on the road course side of it, which is completely different, way easier.
Right.
But like I start to look at the dirt one, I'm like, all of a sudden my head goes like 5 different places. I'm like, I don't even want to think about that. Like it's hard.
It is hard, yeah. But the track side of it is a science, as it is with your family, with the sod business. Like, everything has to be right to grow good sod, right? And but for everything to be right to grow good sod is all the stuff you do before the seed goes in the ground, right?
Yep.
And so it's same with the track. And it's, I was grading on Monday, which I normally don't. I normally try to take Sunday, Monday off because that's typically our weekend. But I was grading on Monday because I knew it was going to rain today and possibly rain tomorrow and Thursday. But my track was so bad on Saturday. I'm like, okay, I got to figure out like how to fix that. And I'm pretty lucky. Like I've reached out to some really good guys that are good on equipment. Mike Ross has obviously helped me a lot. Clint Pursley, Gravel that does the shootout and the Chili Bowl track, with Matt and them. Like he's always like, I'll send him a text. And he's like, yep. He's like, I'll sneak over at lunch and take a look at what we got going on. He's like, I can't do anything, but I'll try to give you some ideas. And so all that's like a big plus to me because it just, whenever you go through extremities like what we've gone through with all the rain and all that, like it makes a huge impact on your track. And you don't ever want to see bad tracks. But anyway, I'm learning. So.
Well, I mean, I think, the biggest thing is no matter what kind of track you provide, everybody has to race on it.
Yeah, same for everyone.
You know what I mean? Like, and I'm pretty sure you guys touched on that when I was trying to get this echo out, which I got it out.
We're
good.
Thank you.
We fixed it. So I mean, it's a tough battle, and guy from Arrowhead reached out to me the other day. I mean, you were talking about it, and he wanted to do a roundtable, which I think we're still going to do it. He wants to do a roundtable of him, you, Matt Ward, the guy from Tulsa, and like explain to people like, hey, this is what happens when we have a decision that we have to make when it comes to our track, whether it be, what we do to make the track a raceable surface or what we do if we have to make a decision on whether we're going to race or not because of rain.
Yeah.
And I think it would be a good educational piece to
Absolutely.
everybody because obviously as racers, we probably get it more than anybody else, right? But the fans, they don't get it.
Yeah.
No.
They don't understand. All they know is I have my weekend planned.
The hard part is when you actually start a race and then have rain.
Oh, that
right.
sucks. That's the hard.
And then the stress of okay, like what's fair. Obviously, you got to take care of the people that support you in the back gate. Your racers that are there every week, and then you're thinking you got to think like, how do I take? What do we need to do with our fans so that makes it fair to them, right? And it never fails. It rains on a big event, right? Like you got a lot of out of town people that are here. You're just like, dude, do we race tomorrow? Which could possibly be Sunday. Sundays are hit and miss. Like you typically got to start a little earlier Sundays because everyone's got to travel to get home and
Got work on Monday.
you got church, with some people. So
What church you go to?
Battle Creek.
I go to Bedpost Baptist.
Battle Creek, yeah. Battle Creek's my place, yeah. But
I tried going to Battle Creek.
yeah,
I don't know, man. I wake up and hey, thanks, man.
yeah, no, absolutely. Gotta
mean-
give thanks where thanks due, man.
I mean,
That's what you gotta
growing up on Sundays, we were traveling back from, we were either racing at Huset's or
Yeah.
Jackson on Sunday with my dad, or we were driving home from Knoxville. Like I mean, every now and again, maybe we stopped at one of them trucker deals, or like the trailer with the trucker church, cowboy church, whatever. But anyway,
It's all good, man.
No, I
It's all
get it.
good.
I think we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that round table with him. And
Yeah, I think it's a great idea, actually. Yeah.
Kind of getting back to the Eldora deal, because I know we got off on that with all the other stuff. I want to say that Ashton Torgerson, he shocked me the most.
Hey, here's
Had
the thing.
he not had that problem,
Yeah.
I think he could have top 5.
So I've said I was out on the road with that team when they started from, I mean, dude, they were scrounging to even get to a race, right? Mm. And to see what they've done with their organization to grow it has been really awesome to watch. But I've said from day one, and I've told Jacob this a lot of times. I'm like, Jacob, like, do you want to go drive my car? Because I want to drive your car. I'm like, your car handles so good. I said, you don't even know how good you have it with your car.
Let's just do a swap
And
tonight.
it just, dude, that car just, it does the right things at the right time. A lot of knowledge has gone into that. And Bobby, the people that don't actually know Bobby, that dude is super smart.
Yeah.
Super smart.
Well, I think it just backed up that Sunday at Baps wasn't a fluke.
No.
That, hey, like, and if you go back and watch the video from Baps, like he destroyed him. He didn't just start on the pole and win.
Yeah.
Like he, like,
of course, there was
passed
the whole deal with Danny and the wings.
Oh, yeah.
But listen, say it's an inch dip in your wing. It's not going to make you go smoke everybody in the field. No. It's just not.
Here's
there's
how
a good
I see
combination
that,
behind that car.
Here's how I see this. Cameras have gotten way better, and now they can see that. Wings have been doing that for years.
Oh,
I was
totally.
gonna say he's definitely not the only one.
No,
So
I mean,
why single him
Jacob
out?
Allen posted a picture of Danny Dietrich with the same shit on his wing.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? So, but Danny Dietrich, I text Shane on Friday morning or like that next day or whatever, and he went live on his Facebook on Friday morning. He had like 1,500 people watching him talk about the wings. I'm like, like Wingate.
One thing I got to comment on that I kind of think about, like looking at the whole deal that I thought was messed up. Like, I don't know Ashton from Adam other than watching him as a driver when I came really Tulsa, like this winter, right? And I had respect for him, like watching him drive and stuff like that. But like what I think a lot of people don't realize is there was never a race car driver that had $0 behind him and bought a helmet. Because how would he buy a helmet? Right? Like there was always some kind of influx of something, whether it was a sponsor, there was always, like, for example, for me, my career in road course, like I got lucky, Enzo picked me up. But wherever that whole deal came from and the bad things about it, regardless, there's car owners, there's people getting along and working together collectively the right way. Mm-hmm. They clicked right off the bat. The weekend before, it did not click.
Right.
I mean, I'm sorry, but and I have to deal with it now running a road course team for PTC. Like, if something doesn't click, you have to make a change. So I look at what they did, and like, there's all the riffraff online about saying, downing him after the BAPS deal or the wing deal, and then all of us, the couple of people in Ohio that are just like honest, we're like looking at our wings, we're like, oh, look at this picture where our wing was doing the same thing.
Right.
Or like, look at the picture when I was running HRPs and it was doing that.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just a wing company. So like, I don't think, one thing that I would want to say is like, trying to down other people while our sport is actually starting to grow and get some legs.
Yeah.
Let's like stand behind and be supportive and be like, hey man, that's cool. That's we all got gains in the dirt community from Larson and what Larson did when he came back to dirt. So let's capitalize on the gains and stop talking the crap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that.
But he got smoked, and he was just trying to figure out why he got smoked.
Because he's fast at BAPS.
He is.
Of course, Dietrich's fast everywhere.
Yeah.
I just never would want to fight him or his crew. That's the biggest crew in the pits. I'm friends with all of them now. After Volusia, like, hey, we're buddies. Whatever. High Limit. Texas Motor Speedway. Thursday night, it was a dyno session.
Yeah. A lot
It
of
was
rain.
literally
They had the
just-
same
I
amount of
was
rain we
bored.
had here,
Yeah.
though, pretty much.
I mean, Lanny in Devil's Bowl, remember, like the first night would always be super heavy and the second night would take rubber. But that first night would be like, boy, them boys are going fast. And it's like, yeah, but ain't nobody passing nobody. You got it so wet that, you can't do anything. But they fixed it for Saturday night.
Yep. Saturday
It was a
night's
hell
race
of a
was
race.
good. It was.
Grandstands
For a
were
big
way
track.
more crowded.
Yeah. Well, Thursdays are tough, man. Like,
Well, I mean, it's Cup weekend.
yeah, but you got to think, like, people set a budget out, and they've got their tickets for Friday, right, for the truck race or whatever, and then you got Xfinity, and then your sprint car race, and then your Cup race on Sunday. Like, it's a lot. So it's hard to get people to even get there on Thursday.
So me and my neighbor were talking about this because my neighbor went down there on Saturday. They were supposed to go to Texoma and go fishing. They ended up at Texas Motor Speedway. And he used to go there to Texas Motor Speedway and like spend the whole week. And that was back when people showed up on Wednesday, Thursday, campground packed, stands packed for every single race, right? You watched the race on Saturday and there was nobody in the stands. And they've taken stands out of that place.
Yeah.
It shows how much NASCAR's depleting, right? The good thing for us is it's getting redirected, right? And so, obviously Thursday is harder and harder, especially in our economy, to do anything extra other than Friday or Saturday, right? So, so that I think that plays into it as well. But Friday there was no racing. It let people get there, and it let people know that the dirt track's racing tomorrow.
Yeah. And we got some superstars.
We got superstars. Kyle Larson's racing. Christopher Bell is not racing, but the car he races is going to be there with Darren Pittman.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know they were going to switch, but I guess they did. And, Rico posted a video of him and Joey Logano. And Joey Logano talking about how he wants to get in the car and all this other stuff. And it's like, now it's bringing all this attention to us. And it goes back to what we talked about last week about how dirt track racing, whether it's sprint cars, midgets, late models, whatever it may be, is in a good state right now.
And here's the thing: it was in that state, 20 years or 15 years ago, right, when they started building all these facilities around these NASCAR tracks.
Yes.
And Ted Johnson had a plan, and it was going down the right path. And it's just like anything, right? Like you get bought out, and things kind of go down their paths, and I feel like it's kind of getting back to.
I think
where it was.
Obviously, with Kyle and Brad Sweet's involvement, bringing it back, because that was leading us into what we were going to talk about for the upcoming week. Like next week, this week, high limits tomorrow night at Wichita, pending rain, and then they race at Lakeside. Well, it's Cup weekend in Kansas City again, so like going back to back at Cup weekends is doing nothing but helping us even more.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the drivers' meeting, they told us there was fans from all 50 states and 15 countries.
Yeah.
Which, the NASCAR deal, of course, made it happen.
Absolutely.
And,
But I remember I went to the very first World of Outlaw race at Texas Motor Speedway. Me, my brother, my sister-in-law, we loaded up in a car and we drove from Kansas City and we went down and we watched the very first race. And it was during IndyCar weekend. You leaving?
No, I'll be right back.
Oh man, he lost his tooth. We'll get them dollars out. We'll do a GoFundMe.
I noticed he was getting
Oh,
about
I'll
8
send the car,
FaceTimes
but
over there.
We'll put a couple ones to that.
Anyway, so it's helping us because that's so awesome. I know what that feels like. Obviously, you know what it feels like, James. Yeah, you guys don't. But so it's helping us, and it's when I went to that race, it was during IndyCar weekend, right? So you had all these IRL guys, because back then it was IRL, it wasn't IndyCar, and you had all these IRL guys just lined up against the fence right before hot laps, and you're like, you guys better back up. And as soon as the cars went by for hot laps, man, it just and they backed up, and you could tell they were instantly hooked.
Yeah.
And so obviously we went through a down period. And now, man, we're climbing, dude. Like, dirt track racing is just straight climbing. And you obviously were there for the high limit race. And I will say that Texas Motor Speedway has gotten better. It used to be just a rubber tire eating place.
Yep.
It's gotten better. It looked like they put some different dirt on it because it was more brown than it was black this weekend. So I was happy to see that there was good racing on Saturday with all the fans there because they're used to sitting there for 4 hours watching one race.
Yeah.
And now they just watched a lot of things happen in a short amount of time, and they're like, I don't even know what to do, right? But with the way that High Limit does it, it catches their attention, and it keeps them involved, and it's just good to see.
Yeah.
Another thing with Texas Motor Speedway, it sat dormant for, gosh, I don't even know, like 3 years, 2 years?
Dude,
Didn't even have a race on it
was
at all.
going grass on it.
Right, so like
Yeah.
Kenny Brown and his guys went down there and then started messing with it and getting the dirt turned over, and then that led to the High Limit people being involved. And so now that there's more and more races on that track, it's definitely showing that it can produce a good race.
One other thing that happened during I don't know if was it because I was kind of hit and miss going back and forth.
Yeah.
One other thing that happened was nut butter was presented to the world completely by happenstance, and Tony Laporta ate some on what? So was it during the pill draw or like the wheel, or was it just during an intermission?
I want to say, I think it was kind of all through the night. They kind of.
Oh, did they?
Yeah,
Okay.
'cause-
So all I know is I got a Snapchat from Shane Vandervliet that said Tony Laporta said something about I bet Chase likes this, or Chase Rodham said something about I bet Tony likes that and them nuts in his mouth or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what just happened?
Yeah.
And then I went back and I kind of flipped over and they were talking about nut butter.
Yeah.
So what we're talking about is Rainbow Nut Butter. Rainbow Nut Butter is one of Rees Moran's sponsors. It's actually your cousin, correct?
Yeah, my cousin and my aunt.
Your cousin and your aunt
Yep.
that started it. And so tell them a little bit about what nut butter is, and I gotta say rainbow in front of it because saying nut butter is just kind of weird. But
Hey, but listen, I will say the name is probably what got them intrigued, though.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
I
absolutely.
agree.
In that heat race interview,
Yeah.
they didn't ask me anything about the race, anything about the track. They just opened with, "What's this rainbow nut butter?"
That's
I was
awesome.
like, "All right, here we go."
that's awesome.
And then-
So, well, explain to everybody watching what rainbow nut butter is, and we'll
Yeah,
go from there.
it's just a brand of peanut butter. They have, I want to say, about 65 different flavors with just
65.
Yes,
Wow.
Yeah, on rainbownutbutter.com or their TikTok shop, you can open that and check some out. But
We need a lumber lounge one.
Yeah.
we need a lumber lounge flavor.
yeah, they got us a checkered flag mix, which has my car on it, has X9 chassis on it, and they let me get involved with some of the goodies in there. We got some.
So that's what I was gonna ask because I've been telling people this and I'm probably blowing smoke up people's asses because I'll just say shit and just it don't matter, right?
Yeah.
So I've been telling everybody like this is what you choose to put in your nut butter.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I wasn't wrong.
they definitely helped me. They got
Yeah,
more
right,
experience
right.
putting jars of peanut butter together than I do, but I did have a say in it, and I might be a little biased because it's got my face down the side of it, but I will say it's the best flavor.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
let y'all try it here in a minute. And,
Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe
well,
you guys.
absolutely.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
So what's in it? Let's talk about what's in it first.
So this one has M&Ms, it's got caramel, it's got some protein balls. They tried to, make it a little athlete-y, with
Yeah.
me on the side of it.
Yeah.
And it's got,
because you work out, don't you?
no, not even once. Don't ever. No, I'm a race car driver, guys.
That's what I'm
not
talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
But it's like a cinnamon Chex Mix in it, I guess. Is that what you would call that? I don't know exactly what it is, but it is delicious.
Yeah.
It's got some of that crunch in it,
that's the whole point, right?
Yeah.
So what's the base? Like the actual butter? Like what is it? Like almonds? Is it peanuts? What is it?
I want to say it's just peanut butter.
Is it just peanut
Yeah,
butter?
just regular peanut butter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
That's
wife
awesome.
was
I've never
asking
heard about
because
it,
she has
so.
a nut allergy.
Yeah.
And she was like, I can only have almonds and peanuts.
Yeah.
And so she was asking me about it. So now I can tell her.
Yeah. And I'm sure they have some other flavors that, kind of account
Oh,
for some
yeah,
of
I'm
that.
sure
Yeah.
they do.
Oh, yeah, dude. Peanut
There's so
allergies
many
are
people that
crazy.
have
Yeah.
peanut allergies now and all that crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, we'll definitely give that a shot
Yeah.
here in a little bit. So the other thing I want to talk about the high limit deal. Well, first off, I want a little bit more about the nut butter. So I talked to James when he. What? What?
Of course, the fat guy wants.
I haven't even ate any yet.
We gotta get him some.
Why you gotta call me fat?
Do I need to go get a spoon or
This
something?
is fat
Hey,
shaming.
I got spoons right here ready for
This
y'all
is
whenever
fat
you want.
shaming. If you want to try it, you
Hey,
can try
yeah,
12 grams of
it.
protein.
Try it whatever you want. Yeah.
You're gonna go.
So I'm gonna
places,
keep
Reese.
talking while you guys
calories
try it. So anyway, so while they're doing this, you can go to rainbownutbutter.com. You can pick out this checkered flag mix, or you can pick out your own flavor. We'll post the link in the chat. Actually, I'll do that right now. I'll post the link in the chat for
awesome.
Rainbow Nut Butter.
You do
Oh,
that,
man.
so
Rainbow.
let's go ahead and dig into some of this.
Is it 2 T's or 1?
Just one.
Just 1.
Just one.
Oh,
Butter.
Hey, you got to mix it up though.
calm.
You got to get a
I
little bit of
know,
that
I know.
caramel off the bottom.
I gotta be a little bit patient. Mm-hmm. We're on the bottom. Catfish.
Oh man,
It's not my
this,
style,
so this
but
is
I
how you
Not
actually
my
eat it.
style,
Like you eat
but,
it out
like,
of the.
This is one of those days. Gotta
Yeah,
pay the
people
bill.
always ask me if you're supposed to put it on bread, but I've just been eating it out of the jar.
I mean,
Heck
why would
yeah.
you put it on anything? I mean,
Yeah.
like it just looks like a snack.
Oh yeah.
Like a snack. So you can go to rainbownutbutter.com. You can get this checkered flag mix that is built by Rees Moran himself. Or you can get other flavors. How many? 62 flavors?
I want to say 65-ish in the ballpark around there.
Or you can.
Tara, she
can
might
you
be
do
in
a
the comments.
custom? Can you do custom? Can you
I
do custom?
think so.
Cool.
Yeah.
So yeah. So go check that out.
Oh man, that's so good.
On a scale of 1 to 10, what do we think?
Actually, you know what? I gotta try it.
Fresh. You wanna just go-
Let's just.
It's a 10. It's a
So
10.
I hate
trying
peanut
to
butter.
follow.
I'm just gonna tell you that. So this is
You don't
the
like
first
peanut
for me.
butter?
No, I don't like peanut butter.
What's wrong with you?
What about like a Reese cup or something?
So I do like Reese's Pieces.
Okay,
Well,
the
you're gonna like
pieces,
that.
but not the cups.
Oh, I like Reese's cups. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Is it more like that, more sugary?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay. Let's give her a shot.
That's good.
Hope I like your nuts, Reese.
Oh man, that's live for the world to see, Snow.
Oh wow, that's good.
That's good, isn't it?
Tastes like peanut butter cake batter.
Yeah.
Holy
That's-
crap, that
that's
is
just-
delicious.
I don't have to Uber Eats tonight, Jank.
Great, great. Now one more thing, it's gonna make me fat. Thanks, Bobby. Oh my god, that's delicious. Wow.
Yeah.
That's good.
I've
Shout out
personally
to
been
Shelby and Tara for knocking that out of the park. Wow.
I've probably shouldn't say this on here, but there's about 3 jars sitting next to my bed that are empty at the moment.
Yeah, but you're young, dude. You don't put the weight on.
We're,
yet.
we're trying to lose
Yeah, just
100
wait,
pounds in
man.
our car, man.
Yeah.
This way.
You're trying to lose weight in your car now?
Yeah, she's a heavy girl. Yeah, I gotta give a big thanks to them. They've done a ton for us this year. And also, while we're on the topic, I gotta thank Kyle Bush because he really kind of
Is he the one that got it going?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he was up in the box on the mic, and they actually ran him up some peanut butter, and he did it there. Did a little taste test for us,
Hey,
you know.
that's all it takes sometimes.
Kyle Bush is
It's the
good.
right person
So
to
that's
say
what I
the
was
right
going to get
things.
to. So I was talking to James about it, and I said, hey, that nut butter deal really took off, and he told me what the sales were from that time until the end of the night, and I'm like,
Yeah, and it was
but
like
that's
4
what it
hours.
takes, man. That's like that's what that's how it happens. And
Yeah.
dude, Kyle Bush is so good with that. Like
He was actually really great on the mic too.
Oh, dude, yeah. He did it at Vegas, and he was a little rocky at first, but then he got better.
Yeah.
So I'm just, dude, he's always just I used to have not a problem with him, but like, he kind of comes off as a cocky asshole, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so, but when my brother, his one shining moment at the shootout when Ava Grott flipped him, but we were parked with with Brexton, and dude, he didn't care about anything other than making Brexton's car fast.
Yeah.
And like he was there to race, and like I just kind of got a newfound like appreciation for what Kyle does. And then when I was with Ryder McCutcheon and running that micro all year and getting to race with Kyle a lot, dude, he's just a nice guy, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just a nice guy, and he's a
just
hell of a
a racer.
racer.
Mm-hmm.
Hell of a
He's just
racer.
a racer.
Hell of a racer. Somebody said the Lumber Lounge flavor, I like it, would taste like beer and bad decisions.
Possibly.
I mean,
Hey.
that's pretty
Yeah.
fair,
Yeah.
pretty fair statement there. So,
Yeah, this is really good.
so yeah, so it's got puppy chow in it.
Yeah,
That's
okay,
what it is. Yeah. That's what Rosie said. So, and she said they've still been busy since Saturday. I didn't know Rosie was working there, so that's cool.
Yeah, I think she just started. I think
Yeah.
Riley was over there too.
Oh, Riley?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
boy, Riley. Has he gotten any trouble lately?
Not that I know of. He's
Okay.
actually been pretty chill right now.
Well, Richard texted me and asked me because he ain't on Facebook.
Yeah.
And he said, "Is it on YouTube?" I said, "It'll be on there tomorrow." I said, "Just come up and watch it." He said, "I might." And then I told him I wouldn't sign an autograph. He said, "Well, I ain't coming then." No. So anyway, Well, thank you for letting us try the.
No,
Rayhall
it's really
butter.
good.
Yeah.
Really good.
Glad y'all like it.
By the way, Bash likes it too.
Yeah, dog
Yeah.
approved, everyone. Dog approved.
Absolutely.
Hey, if dogs like it, everybody like it.
Like, here he goes.
Oh, yeah. He's like, give me some more of that.
Nice. All right, so shout out to Woody.
Yep.
Woody got mad at me last week because I didn't have the Kiwi Landscape logo up on flashing up there. Now it is. So shout out to Woody and Kiwi Landscaping.
Yep.
Also DC Irrigation. If you don't know what DC Irrigation is, there's no drip they can't fix. That's an inside joke.
Yeah.
So, but love Woody, love his support. Love the support of everyone. And one thing that I need to talk about as far as support is X9 Chassis, because they came on as the partner for tonight's show. So thank you, James and Rees,
Yes.
for that. So
Yep.
if you don't know, James and Rees are the proprietors of X9 Chassis. Is it x9chassis.com, or do they just reach out to you, go to Facebook, whatever it is? Yeah.
Yeah, either one, Facebook or...
Yeah, if you're in need of a sprint car chassis, get a hold of them. That's what Rees Races is, an X9 chassis. Has been in one since day one, and I know that because I got the privilege and I was fortunate enough to help them for the first 2 years with their CS9s, now X9s. So obviously they're great cars and they're fast, and you make them fast.
Safe cars.
And, very safe.
very safe.
Very safe.
Very
And,
wide, too, for any big guys out there.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, that wasn't a shot at you.
I don't
That
plan
was
on
just-
racing, bro.
Man.
He needs some more peanut butter.
Jeez, give me another beer.
Yeah.
At least it's light beer.
Yeah.
No, I don't need no more peanut butter. So anyway, so thank you, James. Appreciate you guys. Obviously, and for always supporting the Lumber Lounge and Garage. You guys, because I kind of started the Lumber Lounge when you guys got started in sprint cars, and so I always appreciated you guys running my logo on the car.
Yeah.
And
So-
it's been awesome to see him
dude.
mature. Right?
Oh my gosh, it's so cool to see. And then we actually gave away an X9 chassis at the Chili Bowl. They did a raffle. I was told we're going to do that again next year. Are we? Okay. That's
Are we doing shootout and chili bowl, or?
one car? So
yeah.
so last year it
car
was a
for the
full
whole
roller.
10 days
You
or whatever,
bring
yeah.
your own motor and
Yeah.
you buy a raffle ticket. It'll start during the shootout, and we'll give it away on Saturday night at the Chili Bowl.
Good parts on it, too. It's not just like crap.
It's a brand new car.
yeah.
Brand
Yeah.
new
Race
everything.
ready.
It's all the stuff we run on my
Yeah.
race car, so.
Throw a motor in it and go.
Yep.
Drop
And
a seat in it,
also,
you're good.
Yeah.
if you race weekly at Creek County and you win the points championship, you get a car. Do you just get a frame and body or the whole car? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So as of right
So
now, it's just a
frame,
car.
body, wings.
Frame, body, wings.
Motor plate,
Right.
got our
Yeah.
own pedals and stuff. you know.
Yeah. But still, like a kit car.
Yeah.
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 And I just want to let you know, for me, a sprint car racer from Ohio right now, like, we appreciate you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
We
no,
don't have many
absolutely.
of that kind of things going on.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's just helping everyone. It's helping introduce people, that
Yeah.
couldn't have a new car.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like we've dealt with Maxims and J&J and obviously Triple X has been around for quite a few years now, and it's good to have new blood.
Yeah.
It's good. RPM chassis is fairly new, and
Yeah.
so
I had
yes.
RPMs when I ran for
Barry.
the 5 car. Yeah. Barry. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I almost bought one of them,
Yeah.
my first day, just because it was Shane Stewart's car. I was like, that must be
Dude.
the car. It can't be me, right?
It's
Like, so
5
I'm going to buy that.
5
RPM.
mile an hour. If it says Shane Stewart's car on it, that's like freaking
Slow.
5 mile an hour. Oh, here we go. So the other thing I want to talk about with Texas is Rico. Obviously, Rico won 3 out of his last 4 races and was on the podium on Thursday night. His speed right now is by far, to me, some of the best speed out there. Mm-hmm. He kicks their ass at Knoxville at the Outlaw Show. Then he goes, backs it up with the weekly show win the next week at Knoxville. Goes down to Texas Motor Speedway podiums and then kicks their ass again on Saturday night. And this is kind of more of a question for Shane. Do you think that Rico and Ricky are finally, which they've been fast.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong, they've been fast. But do you think they're finally finding their stride for that consistent speed?
Yeah, I think so. So here's the thing. So Rico goes to Australia, breaks his wrist, right? Doesn't get to race at all. So then he comes back home, straight into rehab, getting his wrist, because everybody knows as a race car driver, like your hands and forearms, all this, right? Like all these, everything muscle wise, and even back muscles, stomach muscles, like you use that all, like not every night, but when you need them, you got to have them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that just supercharged Rico. Listen, I follow. I'm not a big social media guy, but every time I'm on, I see a little video of him in the gym doing something to get stronger and better. And I think all that's just made the combination sweeter with them. And everybody knows Ricky's. So here's the thing: Ricky, somewhat slight heart attack, right? Got his
Battled cancer too.
Got his valves all cleaned out and his high speeds
He went
opened
for a
up.
freshen.
Yeah, so I think he's got to recharge. And you know, at the end of the day, like he was. So Ricky's one of the lucky ones, right? Like Ricky was taught by Carl Kinzer. Obviously learned a lot from him, but him and Willie Kane and all these guys that was taught by Carl, they've taken their profession and made it, you know, what they are today. You know, with Donnie Schatz and Ricky, what they achieved was unreal. And then he's getting the second chance with Rico. I think they're just both out to prove that they can win championships and win big races, and I think it's going to happen.
And I also think that they not only have stability with Ricky and Rico, just in the whole team.
Yeah, no, I mean,
With
it takes the whole
it's
team.
Brody
Brady,
Forbrook.
yeah.
Brady
Yeah.
Forbrook.
Yeah.
And then the other guy, he always looks so mad, but he's a
Yeah,
nice guy.
but they've been together for a long time now,
That's what I'm
like
saying.
2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
So, and that's huge too. And that's kudos to Rico. Dude, listen, Rico's. So a lot of people don't understand their whole family background, but they're just super down to earth people. And Rico's that guy. Like he's not a hothead. He's pretty level headed. Obviously got a lot of talent, and that makes a huge difference when it comes to your mechanics, right? Mechanics don't get to pay a lot of money. They're out on the road. They're gone all the time. It's hot nights, hot days, long hours. And the last thing they want to deal with is a piece of shit driver that comes in and throws stuff and hollers and yells and does all that stuff the wrong way.
Yeah.
And Rico's not that way.
No.
And he takes good care of them. And so a lot of that goes a long way. But to have a good, successful team, you got to try to keep your people intact, which is harder and harder to do.
No, absolutely.
these days.
I mean, you see it year in and year out. The hardest thing to do right now is find help.
In any industry.
Yeah. Yeah.
But out there on the road, like nobody has good work ethic anymore. They just don't.
They just want to say they're out there.
And but it's like that.
We've
Not
talked
just
about this all the
not
time.
just the racing industry.
My
but
first job full time on the road was $250 a week, and I was happy.
crap, I didn't get paid that.
Yeah.
I was cleaning Hillenberg's
I was saying,
diesel truck
Hillenberg,
tires for nothing.
Yeah.
And by God, if I didn't clean them right, he made me clean them again.
I think another thing that I actually, me and Jakey were talking about it last night. Like watching Ricky and him that first year, I don't know his first year, but Eldora Let's Race 2, like let's say 2023, when it was curved up on the fence.
Yeah.
And I remember like standing there in the infield because first time at Eldora, not making the A main. So I'm like sitting up there watching, and I'm watching him turn left, almost kind of like when Larson was driving up the wall at the Chili Bowl, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm watching him turn left, and the right side's propped up and everything like that, but it was also confidence and belief in each other.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's also, like, when they click, it's clicking. But I think having the mentality like Rico has of just being, like, the calm, cool, collected and there for the team.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to build that quicker that way.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to get back to those good nights.
Well, Rico's been around a long time,
Yeah.
too. Like, he's not a spring chicken. Like, he's raced
I know.
competitively for a long time. And obviously Ricky has, too. But they're a great combination.
And I think Rico can finally, not that he's never trusted his car, because, I mean, he's drove for Paul. I mean, he's had some good cars.
He had a lot of success with Paul.
Yeah. So I just think that we needed to touch on that because he's been so fast. So,
There you go.
going back, so we'll go back to Knoxville now. So Knoxville, Ryan Timms wins his first 410 race at which, you know, I didn't get to watch it, but you look at the results and it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Like everybody finished where they started. But you watched the race, and that
It was
wasn't
a great race.
It was top, bottom,
Yeah,
everything.
it was awesome
So
race.
Ryan Timms wins his first 410 show at Knoxville. I was super happy for my brother and Scott Boguski.
Yep.
They went third quick, 6-2 in their heat, and finished fifth in the A main.
Yep.
So I was super happy for them. They have some good speed. Went quick time the week before, like we talked about. So
Yep.
really looking for them. Clint Gardner, after 2 years, finally wins a feature, but he's got like 1,000 features there.
Which is crazy. I saw that, and I'm like, man, that's nuts.
Dude, I'm
that he has
telling you,
not
like the
won
last
in
couple
2
years, like that blue car has not been that fast.
Yeah.
I get along with Clint, but man, he was slow.
Yeah.
You could really read Parker
And that's a
on the
tough
side
class
of that
at
car.
Knoxville. A weekly 360 class is tough.
And then what they call the 305 class, the pro sprint class. I didn't realize this until I watched that Knoxville Nights last night. Brett Moffitt won the 305.
Yeah.
So if you don't know who Brett Moffitt is, Brett Moffitt won the truck championship. He won NASCAR truck championship. First time ever in a sprint car was Saturday night.
Really?
Ever.
Wow.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No way.
No, he ran. He
Nah,
did.
it was first time.
He ran in Iowa at the 305 show last year because I texted him about it.
Maybe. Okay, so maybe it was his second.
So it was
But-
night 2, but it's still
Yeah.
what
But, like,
going to
either
Knoxville and winning at Knoxville
Yeah.
your
Dude,
first
he
time.
went
like,
quick time, won his heat race, and won the A-Main.
Yeah. Doing that at any track's impressive, but Knoxville's a whole nother.
All right. Yeah.
And he announced today that he's back in that car. So the car that he's in has actually set like the last 11 quick times and has won the points championship. That car's fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the guy just doesn't really he doesn't want to move up. He just wants to go have fun. And he's like best friends with Moffitt. So he's going to be back in it this weekend. So I thought that was pretty cool. I wanted to bring that up tonight. That
I'll also
it
say
can
this
happen.
about Brett, just knowing him from the asphalt world because we raced like Pro Cup late miles like against each other when we were younger. Like Brett does have more of like, and I don't want to take it away from anything he's done in NASCAR. He has more of like the short track dirt facade of like who he is as a human. And like when we were kind of messaging back and forth about like what he thought, he's like, dude, this is cool. He's
yeah.
like,
Hey, there's nothing better than a wing sprint car.
There-
There's
no.
just not.
there's not.
I don't care what you drive.
so he almost won the truck race there too.
Yeah.
And then he almost, I guess he was leading a B mod race at Knoxville too. But he's from Grimes, Iowa, so that's where.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that I thought that was pretty cool. The weekly deal at Knoxville is one of the most prestigious weekly things you can go to. I mean, it pays $20,000 to win the points for the 410s.
Their weekly pay for all their
Oh,
classes.
dude,
is pretty
$6,000 to
serious
win
now.
for the 410s, $3,000 for 360s.
They're not joking around.
That's good. So yeah, and then I personally was at Creek County Speedway for the first night of the Matt Ward and Ashley Ward era. Holy crap! There's 132 cars there
Yeah.
total.
Yeah.
They were pitted out by the highway.
Yeah. It's good to see.
Only 2 people got arrested. And it wasn't Steve Hahn. He wasn't even there.
Yeah.
And but I went there with Garth Kasner.
Yep.
And man, it was like an OCRS race, really. I mean, there was 24 good cars there, and we had speed. He throttle got hung in the heat race, and then he hit the tire, and we fixed that, and then it got hung again in the B main. So, but we'll get it fixed. But it was a good show. Gage Laney was going to win it, but his tabs broke off his frame on his radiator, and it got into the fan.
Oh, dang it.
Yeah, and like,
Hey.
and then Danny Smith in the old orange taxi.
Yeah. He said
He just keeps winning races.
He took a picture of him and
Yeah.
his wife. He said, "This is my crew."
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And it was.
Yeah.
It was. So, so
and
shout
Danny's
out.
a huge supporter of everybody.
Oh,
Danny's a great
absolutely.
guy.
yeah, he's a
Oh,
great
absolutely.
dude, man.
But shout out to Matt Ward and Ashley Ward and what they've done at Creek County with the improvements.
Yeah, a lot of work.
I was afraid that we were going to have rodeo style creek
They
because
said it
all
was
the rain.
nice and smooth.
Oh
and
my God, dude, it was
like
beautiful.
almost dry.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh God.
Hey, yeah.
You can leave now.
Yeah.
Exit that. Wait, no, just play.
Yeah,
So
lightning's
anyway,
coming
so
to strike
shout out to Matt Ward and Ashley Ward, and their whole team for having a great opening night at Creek County Speedway. They are back in action this week for their weekly deal, so that's cool. Excuse me, sorry. Port City Raceway. We raced last Saturday. We already talked about how bad the track was.
Yeah. It was a gem.
But
Smooth, super fast. Like
we were just talking about Creek, not
oh, that's right.
so anyway, you did race.
We actually had a lot.
You
of
had
cars.
a lot of cars.
Yeah, because everybody got rained out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey,
So yeah, no, we had 140 something. I don't know.
That's
It was
awesome.
Plenty.
One
And
thing I did want to, not to interrupt you, no, but like
Go ahead.
I do want to say with like when you're talking about how to keep it smooth and like earlier in the show you were talking about like these conditions of when they flip on lap 20 and they want to blame the track and you take responsibility for it. Well, at the same time, if it's going to be like that when they grow up and they're at an outlaw show and they have to deal with it, then it's also like a double-edged sword from like when you're developing a driver,
Right.
you want them to.
Oh
be
no,
able to experience that.
I'll tell you 100%. Like I don't even say this about just because I own Port City. Like Port City will teach you how to race. Like we never even have the same track from week to week, from day to day. Like we have practiced Thursday, race Friday, Saturday. All 3 nights is different.
Yeah.
Like it's always got character. Always. And it's always had that since before I bought it. It's just the way the track is. It's just there's just a lot of stuff happening underground with our racetrack and shade and I mean, you name it, it's got it. And but yeah, I mean, everything's fast paced here, as you know.
Yeah.
And it teaches you great hand-eye coordination, how to work lap traffic,
The reaction
how to
time
race,
here.
like how to race a track. And that's what's great to see with our young group, with our junior sprint and our restrictor kids, to see them progress. And then to typically what happens here is they go through the junior sprint program, they get in restrictor, and they race here for a year and a half, and then they go travel.
Yeah.
And then you see them progress and like run up front with national series. Yeah. That to me makes me feel more proud than anything.
We talked about it last week. The fact that you got Millbridge kids coming here to get better.
Yeah. Yeah. And
that says that speaks thousands of words.
Yeah. And on the flip side of it, like we talked a little bit earlier, it's just, I always want my track to be perfect. It's not going to be. It's not. And no matter how hard
it's
I
only
work at
perfect
it,
for one person.
Yeah, the guy that wins.
The guy that wins.
Yeah.
Eric Long said that Jensen Long said he loved it. He said he loved the cushion, didn't bother him a bit. He ended up on his head, destroyed 2 brand new wings.
yeah, which wasn't hard to do. Yeah. If you timed one of our ruts wrong, it got you.
Here's the thing: nobody's ever going to be perfect. Even like Knoxville this year, the first few races, like the cushion's been really big down, really big
it's
down.
Been like that forever.
Yeah, so
like for the last several years,
and they're probably the best in the business.
They are by far. Yeah.
So Port City has another weekly show this weekend, and then we go into the Donnie Ray Crawford next week, which we'll do a Donnie Ray Crawford preview next week.
Yep.
I don't know how we're going to do it. My wife leaves for Jamaica on Saturday, so we might be set up in the house when my kids are asleep. Perfect. Yes, my wife is going to Jamaica without me. It's okay. I'll be in Knoxville without her. Anyway, now, so she's going with her mom, dad, and sister for her sister's 40th birthday trip.
Nice.
So she'll be soaking up the sun in Jamaica.
Jealous. I'll be soaking up the sun in the greater.
Yep.
I do want to touch back on the Port City subject a little bit. Because me and Dad were looking not too long ago, and every person I raced with throughout my junior sprint and restrictor career, because I wasn't in A-Class and Outlaw very long, we kind of jumped up to the 305 deal. But all those kids are now winning midget and 410 races from Port City.
Yeah.
And then like you look at Christopher Bell, he grew up racing here. He's running NASCAR.
Right.
So it definitely produces some great drivers.
Yeah, no, thank you. No, and honestly, like that makes me feel good. It does.
I mean, think about it. You got Christopher Bell, Dason,
Brady Bacon.
who just
Frank Flood. Frank Flood.
Ryan
Frank
Timms.
Flood.
Yeah.
Frank Flood's never left here though.
Yeah, but dude, Frank
like-
Flood
he
in a
was
best
micro.
micro
Good
driver in
Lord.
the country.
Oh, I agree. I
geez,
agree.
money.
He's a legend.
Yeah.
You know, he loves Scooby Doo.
Yeah.
No, Frank. But I think Frank being here makes these kids better.
Oh, it does totally. And
they
he's a
gotta
good
chase
coach
him.
and all
Yeah, you
that.
got to
Oh,
have someone
absolutely.
to chase. That's
Yeah.
how you get better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Cash Lacombe, man.
Yeah.
He's teaching that
There
kid
you go.
wonders.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Your first laps in Midget were here.
Yeah.
Oh
It
yeah,
was?
he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Didn't we have to change that front axle?
Yeah, right after I spun out like lap 4. But I was like, hey, I'm finally good at something on dirt. Nope.
But no, we talk about that week in and week out about how much this track makes you a better driver.
And it definitely makes you race.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's tough to come here. I mean,
I close my eyes when I'm watching people race. I'm like, geez.
Yeah, we've always said if you can win a race here, you can win a race anywhere.
Yeah.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I actually was talking to my dad last week or 2 weeks ago at Road Atlanta, and I was telling him about like when I came down to Tulsa this winter because we were catching up in person, stuff like that. And I was like, man, like we missed it. Like one of the things with my development that I feel like I missed was like being in a micro, but
Yeah.
like after coming down here and helping, what was the race that I came in and I helped Velux at? It was in November or Volux?
Could have been the KKM.
Maybe it was KKM.
Yeah.
I came
Yeah,
down
October.
Here. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what I saw, I was like, man, after going straight to sprint cars, not ever doing a micro or midget, I'm like, dude, these kids have me.
Yeah.
Like, they have me from the rip. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like just watching what they're doing at such a young age and stuff like that. And we were talking about that, and you know, a lot of people that get in different areas of the country, they don't like look all the way around, or you know, now we got the power of social media, which we're fortunate for in a weird way.
We wouldn't know about nut butter.
Oh no! I mean, this is the best, right? Even Bash
Sorry, I
likes
didn't
it.
mean to rush.
But at the end of the day, like, there's so many things that come in from here where you look at like, what were we lacking at certain points in my career when I was about to go to NASCAR or about to go to IndyCar? And it was like, would I have that extra edge, like because of coming from like racing micros here? And I feel honestly, at 30 now, looking at that, I'm like, dude, that's where we missed. But like with all the kids, like, you know, I got kids that are in a road course development program that I'm like, you need to come run a micro, and
Yeah.
you need to come race Port City on Saturday nights a couple, you know, 10
Right.
times a year, 10 to 20 times a year, as many times as you can afford to make your kid a better road course racer even.
Yeah.
And that's why I was happy to have both of you two on tonight because your background is totally different than his background. But you both are racing 410 wing cars. Obviously, you race him in Ohio. He runs around more of the Midwest, southern Midwest area. That's what makes a 410 sprint car so spectacular to me is that you have all these different backgrounds that come up through it, right? There's so many questions for both of you, right? Like, I know a lot about you, obviously, me and Shane do, because of your upbringing and coming up through here. We don't know much about Sean's background. So, you came from road racing. So tell us a little bit about where you came from, and then we'll get into why you chose the sprint car side. So it's like without being, yeah, I say
Long
without
story
being,
short.
yeah.
Yeah, so I honestly, I had a weight problem that we figured out later on in life.
Did you just call me fat again?
No.
Oh,
So there's a
Catch
picture.
strays.
If any of you go to my Instagram, I posted a picture about 3 weeks ago. My nickname was Chunky Puffs growing up. So when you're like
love it.
4 or
Hold on, let me
5,
change your contact. real quick.
yeah, change my car. So when you're like 4, 5, 7 years old, you're in a 9 horsepower Briggs and you're 120 pounds. Your like best shot is second,
Right.
and we
Right.
were able to win a couple. But you know, then you get to 12 and you're fighting a weight problem and this, that, and the other. So we went to cars early. Back then, the Skip Barber cars that we have at PTC, you could race at like Sebring, Road Atlanta, all that stuff.
So explain to people what you mean by PTC, because like I don't know what that is.
Okay, so
Yeah, asphalt stuff's a mystery to us.
Yeah,
Sorry,
So,
so-
like, no, you're good. Like I just wanted that way, like everybody that's watching and like we know what PTC means.
So PTC's Polecat Training Center, and Paul Arnold
there we go.
in Tennessee, he went through Skip Barber. He raced Skip Barber because it was affordable, It was really good racing. It's kind of similar in a weird way to micro racing in regards to like the competitiveness. So like when you're getting your start, like when I was racing like Gabby Chavez, who went to IndyCar, Joseph Newgarden, Connor Daly, Connor DeFelipe, who was in IMSA, John Edwards, who was in IMSA, like those were like at 12 and 13, we were racing Skip Barber cars, right? So we went that direction, and then all of a sudden, 14, I've won a Skip Barber National. I've had some success. I'm the youngest person to win an open-wheel car race, but, like, doesn't matter. You can't go run Star Mazda until you're 16. So then Jack Baldwin got a hold of me, sent me oval racing. We go with Jerry Peters, the guy who owned the Grease Lightning and the Royal Oaks, old NASCARs. He sponsored me to get with Doug Stevens, and we won a bunch of legend car races, late model races, and then Dad's business took a hit. And I'm on the couch. Like, let's face it, like I'm, looking at college. What college am I going to go to? I am done. Like I'm 16, 17, done. And I think it was like right before I turned 17, get picked up by a sponsor who knew me when I was young, sponsors me to go back road course racing, wants me to go to Europe. I'm like, dude, I haven't been road course racing in like 3 years. Shouldn't we do like a year in the States first before like you think I'm going to be the next American Formula One driver? Like, that would
have been cool though.
Yeah. So funny enough, I got
my
a tattoo
gosh.
because like I had a fake ID at the time. I like ran out and I was like, I'm going to Mercedes. like I'm gonna get an F1 steering wheel. I'm gonna break up with my high school girlfriend and like I am moving to Germany because that's what you do at 17. That makes sense, Sean. So long story short, we go through the road course process. I really make it to a fortunate high level without buying our way in. Like I was one of the, like my dad didn't really pay to get me back into road course. And now I'm getting paid. And that was different. But at the end of the day, like I did not like coming from the short track background, some of the things and who I had to be and what I saw going on. And then getting bought out of rides at a very high level. Like I got bought out of, and I'm not going to say names or teams, but out of a 12-hour Sebring overall win that I will say Mike Hull set me up with. Like getting bought out of that, you're like, at a certain point, you start getting butthurt.
I mean, you see the same thing in sprint car racing.
Yeah,
it's definitely trickled down to that.
It's starting to get that way here. But go ahead, sorry.
So you get that way. I got a little bit tired of. I wasn't really happy with like. I was like, dude, like, why don't I just go make the same amount of money, and be home? And be home and have a life.
Yeah.
Like, if it's gonna be corporate, and I was looking at a little too pure. Like that was a fault of me at that age and that era and like my maturity. So sure enough, and I told the story today at the shop, I get called by TJ, Michael, and I am I actually used to date his sister, McKenna. Like 2010 snow.
That's how we got in there.
Like when we were kids.
Sorry.
Like when we were kids, but they, like the Michaels were always family and they're like,
Yeah.
hey, like let's start.
Good family.
Yeah. Tim, Melody, like TJ's one of my best friends in Ohio. Glenn,
TJ.
Glenn, his best friend's my crew chief. Like
love TJ.
it's 15 years later. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Right. So they call me. The deal kind of falls through for driving for them, and I go to Wisconsin where I could find a rental ride. And I was talking to Shane a little bit after this, trying to get some help. But long story short, I show up and this dude's in overalls. And this is just a reflection of me at a young age. I'm like, and it's Kurt Davis. And we know Kurt Davis is a badass. But like I like look over at Kurt and I didn't know Kurt from Adam, but I'm like, okay, well, I'm at least gonna beat a couple guys tonight. Well, I'd never been in a B main in my life, and I ran dead last in the B main, and Kurt in overalls like won the deal at Plymouth.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this
What
is
just
awesome.
happened? Yeah.
This is great. And everyone's like, why are you smiling? We just ran DFL. And I'm like, no, that's cool. He knows something I don't.
Right.
He didn't outspin me to be here. Like that to me reignited why I started racing in the first place.
Right.
And then after that, I was like a nut. So I just sold my condo in Atlanta, bought Scotty Thiel's, used sprint car, not knowing a thing about sprint car racing. Terrible idea, really, at the time. Now, like looking
It's a
back,
great
like
idea.
I didn't. I should have done a little bit of research. I was still young and naive.
Yeah.
And I just like went full bore. Like,
Trial by fire,
yeah,
bro.
yeah. And that's what I did. And I took a lot of wrong moves that I've like, you know, me and Rich, me and Mike, Linder, me and Fuzz Lion. We talk about everything I did wrong all the time because like right now it's like it's pretty easy. It's like, yeah, man, like when I made this mistake, like like, you know, it's and I don't have any ego about it.
Yeah.
But, you know, coming to the sprint car racing for me was the purest form of motorsports I could find. And then I meet Bobby when I'm helping Jacob Lauder that I coach in road course. And I end up coming here and doing laps at Port in a midget.
Yeah.
And I'm like, then go work on a car at the Chili Bowl. And I was fortunate enough to like help Trifecta and be a part of the team that week. And
all connections.
And just watching how things are happening and everything, I love it.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, there's nothing I would rather be doing. And everyone, you know, I was talking to Scott Hecker, who's a lead engineer at United, and he was a racer himself. And I was explaining the sprint, like the dirt stuff and like why my passion's there. And he's like, hey, we still want you. Like if you can like do Daytona or like we like if you can get
That's
moved
gonna
to a
make you feel
silver,
good.
Yeah,
like
for
we
sure.
still want this. And I was like, look, I want that, but like I just want to be honest with you. Like and I think that's been a hold, and I've been kind of blocking it out because I stayed out of the road course car until this year, like as a race car driver. But like I was like, dude, like I need to focus on this. Like I am not where I want to be in this, and I don't have the light switch where I could jump in a GT car prototype, go
Right.
back and forth. And that's and being able to do the Larson thing. I don't get me wrong, nowhere near that area code, right? But
Shut, nobody is.
I'm finally getting to the point where we get out of a road course car like 2 weeks ago, and then we go to Butler, and there's actually Hitler's, or not Hitler's.
Whoa, whoa.
Well, pretty much.
Whoa.
When you pull up against
Right.
against Bryce Lucius and the NOS Energy, the X
Yeah,
NOS
yeah,
Energy
right.
hauler, right?
Right.
Just kidding.
Like so, you're pretty much at your own realm. But like we roll off and we go quick time. So I'm finally that's starting to sink in. But to me that's the coolest thing. Like the coolest thing is to be able to be diverse of pinnacle. Like
Yeah,
be
right.
able to like go back and forth. Be able to, you know, they say a lot of wing sprint car drivers can't go to a midget and be fast.
Yeah.
Like I look at that and I'm
I
like,
can't.
think so.
I couldn't.
But
Wow.
see,
Dude, why you brought it up this week?
but
I tried.
but you know when you were you know me or when you were younger and you were like in that area code and like that time of your life, you're like, I'm gonna be the guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
and that's where I'm at in my life. And honestly, I'm very just fortunate to have such great people around
Yeah,
me.
right. That's great.
And
story.
partners.
Yeah.
So, what is what's the biggest challenge? So we talk about, obviously you have it now where you have people like Larson, Christopher Bell, even some of your USAC guys like Brady Bacon, Dason Pursley, KTJ, all these guys, right? They hop in and out of all these cars, right? But for you, it's different. You're not hopping from a dirt car to a dirt car. What's the biggest challenge going from a dirt car to a road? Like you're going from dirt to pavement, but then you're making right and left hand turns.
I can
Like,
tell.
what-
I can tell him. I can say one. I know. So those genres of cars, you let off, get into the corner,
Before.
right? Like your timing is letting off and then getting back into the gas at a certain point in the apex of the corner. Dirt cars opposite,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
right.
yeah,
So
you don't wanna live.
that to me is one of the hardest things.
And then let's
and,
elaborate on
you can tell me more because I know you
Yeah.
know more. But
Yeah.
Well, let's elaborate. So the other thing is we have telemetry.
Yeah.
So like like when I do my driver coaching deal, right? That is very common for road course racers to do. We hook a laptop in and I run a data lap. Like if Shane Stewart was going to get in my sprint car and be like, "Hey, buddy, this is what it can really do."
Yeah.
you know, like
right,
yeah,
you're thinking you're full throttle, but you're not.
yeah, you're
right?
not.
Yeah.
You're not really breaking that deep. And then also, like, what's your brake trace look like? So, like, what are you doing at this part of the corner? We see all that after we download at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Now, that being second nature to me, and then going somewhere where I don't have not necessarily a crutch, and Janky and Shane knows. Shane remembers when I was just crashing everything in sight, like year 2 of sprint cars. When I got with Fuzz, when I was the car was faster than I was, and I never lifted. But like, going back and forth from those, identifying the light switch and also the racecraft. Like, so I went out in a road course race 4 weeks ago at Mid Ohio, and I was passing someone on the outside, and they like cleared me out, and they actually got a penalty. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, that guy was just kind of being a wanker. Like he wasn't like he just made a mistake.
Wanker?
So a wanker is since
I know it is.
since I drove for United, it's the same thing in
I know
Australia.
it. I know
It's someone who struggles a little bit. So, like there's so many things and then also like the timing of it. Like I try to explain to like some of the parents when I'm trying to convince them that their kids at 13, 14 need to go run micros. Like their kids haven't had it happen this fast. So like now when you're in a situation also, I never owned a race car. I own my sprint cars right now. And then when you have to pay for it at the end of the day, but then also you have to make decisions in a millisecond, right? Like, and also those guys have been racing longer than you. They have more laps. Yeah. They are more in tune with the track changing than you are. They are making better comments. Like that's where I've really tried to improve my craft in the past year is, Janky actually is probably one of the first people to sit me down and be like, this is why I do X. This is why I do that. That's not common in dirt racing. It's more so just like, hey, bud, like put this many turns in. But like how you put a turn in for every crew chief is different. And I never had anyone explain that. So, between actually now stepping back and emptying my cup of tea, talking to Fuzz and asking Fuzz the right questions, which I was not asking at that time, asking Janky the right questions, having Janky explain things. Kevin helped me a lot. Glenn obviously has been my best buddy, but like because we were best buddies, it took me getting to a point where we kind of had to sit down. I got to be like, hey, dude, I don't need you to be so hard on me other than I need you to like teach me. Like I need to know why. And I can't do this plus this. Where like a lot of like the kids who come up on this, like you came from this world, right? So by coming from this world, you like watched it growing up. You watched what I watched on road course, and now you are a natural talented, but also a learned and taught sprint car driver. I am not, but but surrounding yourself with the right people to learn and derive the right amount, ask the right questions. Like not for nothing, me and Rich got super close, Farmer, just because I went to him and I was like, man, what do you recommend? And he's like, dude, I didn't know, like, you just are so quiet sometimes and this, that, and the other. And I was like, no, like, I'm asking, like, I need help. And saying that, having those talks with Bernie, like emptying my tea, even though I've been successful and made a living racing cars. That was difficult, but the worlds are so different, and I'm not trying to doubt road course or asphalt racing, but like with everything we have access to in the track, not like you pay attention to Tim. That's it.
Well, I was to say your telemetry in a sprint car is what you feel and what your crew chief sees.
That's always been the appeal to me in sprint car racing. Is you got a guy, you got 900 horsepower, and you got some wheels, and that is it. You know what I mean?
But the thing I realized not coming from this world is like my communication is key because like I'm going to talk different from the basis. So I need to learn the language. And
I agree.
It took me, in my opinion, too long to mature enough to realize that I don't need to just find the right guy. I need to make myself the right guy for my crew chief.
Right.
And I feel like that's like how, when you look at how much you jumped around, like you've been in different rides across the country. You found success in, let's say, I haven't followed your entire career, but like 99% of them, like you made it work. You got the job done. But why? And that was because of your communication, you figuring out what the crew chief needed to hear and able to make
a
the
lot.
job.
A lot of my success was starting at an early age. Like when I raced micros, like I had to wash my car. I had to maintain my engine. I learned at a really young age how to work on things. And like, I can tell you guys, like my truck and trailer was washed when I went to the track, because if it wasn't,
You didn't get
there
the
was a
race.
reason why, and my dad was like, okay, listen, like that's not acceptable. It's not.
Yeah.
So I just learned a lot of things early on in my career that helped me, and I tell young kids all the time, and parents are a little bit at fault because they try to do it all. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, like you need to like teach your kids how to do that, because there's going to be, if they end up racing for a living or want to do this for a living, there's going to be parts of their career where they don't have anybody.
Yeah.
And you don't want that for them, but it could happen. And if you don't know how to work on your car, you're going to be in trouble. So there was a lot of times in my career where I just tried to do it and the best I could, and I understood enough to get me by. But my dad taught me at an early age that I had to learn.
It helps you as a driver too.
It does.
Being able to get out of your car and know what's wrong with it or know what it needs.
Right.
You don't have to try and. It's almost like speaking a different language if you've never done it.
Right.
Okay, so that's where I was going with it. So, what he's talking about is what a guy like me, that I love helping the younger drivers, right? Like when your dad called me to come help you guys get going, like absolutely, because I've watched you race from the time you're in junior sprint coming up, and it's like what he's talking about with the language, right? You're speaking a language over here. Let's say you're speaking Spanish, right?
Understeer and oversteer.
Right.
Oversteer.
But these young kids are over here speaking a different type of Spanish.
Yeah.
And it's like, me and Kyle McCutcheon talked about it all the time. And you go through this phase where you like, as a guy that wrenches, and I know Bobby's had to go through this, you have to like basically cipher out what these kids are saying, because they know what they feel. They don't know how to express it. Like with Ryder, he'd be like, "Oh, I need more right rear." And what he meant by that is he wanted to feel it more. Not that we needed to crank turns of right rear in it.
Yeah.
He wanted to feel his right rear more. You know what I mean? So like I think that's what I feel like that's what you're talking about. Like you gotta figure out that that communication on how to translate what you feel to the guy that's helping you. Because I know that with him we had to do the same thing. When he came from micros and moved into sprint cars, it was a totally different field in the micro. And so we're figuring out what he likes, because at the end of the day, you guys are the drivers. All three of you, I never drove shit, but I said spin out. But anyway,
Lap
so
four.
Huh?
Lap 4.
it was
Going
did you
into
watch
1 and
it?
2.
No, oh yeah, you did spin out.
Yeah.
But you're a racer. I spun out a mechanics race, but but anyway, so like even though you guys come from two different worlds, like your communication has to be on a different level, because like let's say you decided you wanted to go, hey, Sean's got an open seat in a road course car, just go test it, right? Mm-hmm. Like you're gonna go out there and be like, dude, I feel this, I feel that, and he's gonna be like, what? You know what I mean?
have no clue what
She's
I'm talking
pushing
about.
like a dump truck getting
I'm
into turn
tight
one.
right here, you know,
Yeah.
and he's gonna be like, well, that's you said it the other day when Kyle was talking about how he had understeer or whatever and he hit the wall at Indy. Like nobody, we didn't know what that meant. Like, okay, so correct.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we supposed to say there? So I think that I think that's the biggest challenge, not just for someone that comes from road course racing, but I think it's a challenge moving into any different type of racing.
Yeah.
You know
And I
what I mean?
think, one thing that I realized, so like when I finally like kind of really got humble with myself, let's call it that. I was kind of put in this position where in road course coaching and talking about feel and X, Y, and Z, like I was one of the most sought after and the best, right? I'm like, okay, Sean, you are not getting the job done in your passion. Like this is what you want to do. Why are you so good at X? And me and Paul, who actually owns Polecat Training Center in Tennessee, me and Paul were talking about it. He's like, do you think, like, what makes you such a good coach is, like, you basically will change how you coach certain people. Like, I've watched it. Like, I've seen you look at a driver because you want to make speed out of that driver, and you have changed the statement to that driver in order to make the... And then I, like, literally the light bulb went off in my head, and I'm like, oh, why have I not been working on this for the past 3 years?
Yeah.
Like, why have I not been working on myself?
Yeah.
Like, and I didn't realize that was one. I just expected, because not for nothing, the road course thing was very natural and easy to me. And then the dirt thing was complete opposite, obviously, as you talked about before the corner,
Right.
in the corner. And all these things like add up. But I think that's also like when we talk about like people clicking and stuff like that, like it is like, and let's face it, like Caleb Henry, a good friend of mine and Bobby's, and who's been down here, like Caleb switched crew chiefs in the off season, and they popped off an All-Star win, first All-Star
Yeah,
race.
and Doc's car, the 101.
Yeah, and Doc's.
Yeah.
So you look at that, and you look at, and I'm friends with Caleb, and I look at watching him communicate what he wants and his knowledge in X, Y, and Z. And I think that helped me after my cup of tea was emptied. Even like then when I was like met Janky, I was like, all right, how do you, yeah, double. Oh, okay, sorry. The 2 cups were emptied, just to clarify. But that helped me
beer was empty.
start to dig into learning more. And knowledge is power in this game. And also, like, if you're me and you don't have as many laps on dirt as you do, right?
Yeah.
I have to figure out, and I have to like work twice as hard to be that guy that's trading spots with you at the end of the race. Like I'm behind the learning curve, but at the end of the day, I have to be more aggressive in the right areas, and it's not just by flooring it; it's by literally thinking about it concisely.
Well, and let's be honest, like you're racing in an atmosphere in Ohio that has
Tough.
some of the slickest tracks in the country.
Yeah, and tough. Like competition's always been tough there.
Competition-wise, I mean, yeah. So,
So, Mr. Moran.
yeah. So that's
Yeah.
you know, like what you went through, he went through something different, and now you both are. Me personally, I know it don't mean much. I feel like you both are very talented individuals and talented drivers, and of course, I got to again be fortunate enough to help you get going in your sprint car and scrape some mud for you.
Yeah, we knew nothing, guys. Snow kind of got the ball rolling for us. Jumping out of a micro and getting in that big old thing, and it's so loud, we knew nothing.
Yeah. That's a big jump, too.
Yeah, and you can either disagree or agree with me, but and this is something that I've told with Garth right now, and any parent that wants to get their kid in a sprint car, I think the biggest challenge is learning the weight of the sprint car.
Yeah.
It
this
don't
is
stop.
Size.
Don't stop.
Size of it. Yeah.
Yep. So obviously your background came from Port City, but we talk about Ryan Timms, we talk about Cannon McIntosh, we talk about a lot of people don't know him, but Preston Schulin. You know what I mean? Like these kids,
My day one.
Mahaffey, right? Like all these kids were racing junior sprints at the same time, or not junior sprint, or my restrictors, and I remember a time where it was just you and Ryan Timms pretty much like battling back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and restrictor.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about that for the people, and then obviously we'll get into both of the 410 careers, right? Like, because you have a 410 career as well, and you do now, ish. So tell us a little bit about like your experience here at Port and or just in micros in general, because you didn't just race here at Port. I know
we tried to travel.
I know there was tracks you didn't like.
Yeah.
In a micro.
Yeah.
One of the tracks you hated in a micro, you ended
Now
up
my
loving in your
favorite sprint car
in a
track.
sprint car.
So crazy how that works.
So anyway, so it's like, I mean, just tell a little bit about yourself, kind of what he did, you know, like how you got to where you're at.
Yeah, I mean, started racing at 5 in junior sprints here at Port City, and like it's tough now to watch some of the kids that are coming up because I'm not here and I don't know who's competitive and who's not. But like I always remember my junior sprint field and my restrictor field being some of the best drivers around. And like it's starting to show now because like I said earlier, some of them are out winning midget races, some of them are out running 410 races and winning. But like I almost feel like growing up at Port City, you have to just be okay with being uncomfortable in a race car. Because the straightaways are so short. And like your mile an hour may not be as fast as if you were running a quarter mile in a micro. But the reaction time here is insane because that fence comes up quick. And like it's really tough to say, but I would probably a little biased, but I would put Port City as one of the best micro tracks in the country. And I know I'm not alone on that. Some people are going to say Millbridge, some people are going to say Port City. But it's for sure top 3. You know, if you ask me, it's number 1. You ask some people, it's number 3. But you know, the micro sprint deal is really cool because I feel like, and it may be different now, but when we were running, you didn't have to have the best motors out there to be able to win races.
Right.
And like a lot of my good motors came straight out of a motorcycle off eBay for just a couple grand. And, you know, we went out there racing $10,000 motors and still winning, you know?
Right.
But,
right. And that's still the case here, right? Like you just don't have to have a lot of you don't have to go spend 20 grand on an engine to win here.
Yeah. Where like if you go to Creek County and it's a big track, that horsepower is going to help you.
Right.
But here it's so small, you can kind of get away with just racing, just having a good driver.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it boils down to having a good setup. You know, we had talked about driver communication and just honing your skills.
Yeah.
And you know, you see it in other drivers as they progress up the ladder, and it's one of my proudest things of owning this racetrack. There's a lot of things that I don't like about it, but one of the things I love is watching the kids get better.
Yeah.
Right. And it's crazy from when they start at age 6 to where they are at age 9.
Yeah.
Right. And then from 9 to 12.
Yeah.
And then to watch them travel and do good outside, and then even at the Chili Bowl or the shootout. It just it makes me feel proud as a track owner.
Yeah,
for sure.
and I know I haven't turned some laps around here in a while, but I do watch and I do appreciate everything you've done for the place.
Oh, I
because
appreciate it. Well,
it's awesome to have a guy like you or Cody at Red Dirt Raceway who cares about their facility and cares about their racetrack and really tries to make it good.
Yeah,
you
right.
know, and sometimes it doesn't happen, but you know, Mother Nature sucks
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah.
But
Yeah, no, that's the thing. We do try here.
Yeah.
Needless to somewhat people say, but we do work hard here. And you know, and I know I became pretty good buddies with Cody. Obviously, we had a high limit race there last year, and became more and more close, better buddies with him and Melissa. And man, I hate to see that track kind of sneak away. But yeah, you're right. I mean, Cody's got a passion for the sport. But not to change subjects, but it also goes to the track side of it. And I'm like, man, Cody, like, what the heck happened?
Yeah.
And because he was talking about doing this and that, and he's like, man, you know what? I built my micro track. My phone rang, and it was my sister, and she said something like, "Are you going to be around for for your niece's graduation?" And he's like, "No." He's like, "What kind of question is that? I got a race here Saturday."
It's like people that get married during race season.
And
Stupid.
he said, I hung up the phone, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, like I'm gonna miss out on all my life, like dealing with this crazy dirt track." And not everybody knows, but he's a fireman, right? Yeah. So, stinks, right? Because he's like, I literally hung up the phone with my sister, and I called Melissa and said, "You know what? We're done. I'm going to try to sell it." And I think they were like around year 8. And you know, they've put a lot of heart and soul and blood and sweat and tears into that place. And I was so hoping that somebody was going to buy it, but it just goes to show like how much work and how much
Mom would divorce him.
Oh, I know. I remember having that conversation.
But it just goes to show like how much work it takes to run a track, and it just takes a lot of time and effort. And you know, I'm fortunate, man. I'm like 5 miles down the road. Cody wasn't. Like Cody was an hour and some change, and like all that plays a big part into it too. So, but you're right, man. I haven't seen a bad race there.
So
and my high limit race there was awesome.
Oh yeah, the COVID race was the best race.
It was, yeah.
So I was actually there with Reese's first laps at Meeker, and if you like showed up at the end of the night, you thought that he'd been racing for years.
Yeah.
And I told James that night, I said, don't keep him in these 305s, two barrels too long, because we had a 305 at the time.
Yeah.
We had an Allard 305 at the time, and he's like, "Man, you serious?" I was like, "Dude, I'm telling you right now, like, by the third hot lap session, he's flat-footing around this place."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll tell parents all the time, you know, the kids that have it, you can't be nervous about going to more horsepower. Like I'll tell them all the time, I'm like, your kid, if they're good in, you know, an Outlaw 600, they will be just fine with a 410.
Oh, absolutely.
Trust me.
Absolutely.
Trust me. They will be. For one, it slows down to them, right? I mean, they realize that they're going fast when something happens in front of them, but when you go from a 600 micro on a short track to a sprint car, even on a short track, like it just everything's slow motion.
Yeah, they're a little lazier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And once the kids learn the size and the speed, the depth perception of how quick do you get to point A from point B, they will adapt just like that to the speed.
yeah.
The speed's it's not even in question.
Dude.
So I tell parents all the time, if you have the money, don't waste your time with 360s or 305s. Like just go get a $25,000 410, put it in your sprint car and go race. Like go race anywhere. It doesn't matter. You're going to get beat up.
Yeah.
But your kid will learn to adapt to the speed quickly.
So that first year, we ran was like Meeker and Creek,
Just local.
OCRS stuff, right? Well, then there was an OCRS race in Wichita, and we show up, and they're like, "This place is huge." And I'm like, "This place ain't that big. What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
And of course, it was after they put the wall up.
Right.
So before they put the wall up,
Dude,
you
it
just
was,
fly off the end of the track.
yeah, it was
No big deal,
hard
right?
though. It was a tough
Yeah,
track.
except he
Yeah.
decides that that's the first time he's gonna flip.
Yeah.
And no fault of his own.
Right.
By no means.
I think it was my fault.
Nah, I don't think it was. Like it just, dude, it was
That's a
so.
good driver.
It
Yeah.
was so Nat's
Yeah.
ass on the edge on top, crumbly,
Mm.
and like he just got in there just enough, and it kind of slipped the right rear enough, and it just kind of pulled over and just grabbed the car.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is back when 81 didn't have a wall, you just go off the edge.
Right.
It KO'd the frame.
Yeah. Yeah.
KO'd the frame.
Yeah. Oh,
And
I've been
so,
there. I've crashed in hot laps, qualifying. I've done it all.
Yeah. So
It's all going to happen at some point.
and that was with that Allard motor too. So we
Yeah.
were way under horsepowered with some of those Myers 305s. And,
Right.
But anyway, so we got another CS9 after that, and man, we had some fun.
Yeah,
We
that
won
was
some
the reason we
races.
actually stuck with the CS9s.
Yep.
Because I remember that car was destroyed, but not one bar, not one
Nope.
tube, not one weld is cracked or bent
Nope.
anywhere around the cockpit.
Yeah.
It broke where it was supposed to break.
Yep. And obviously, my favorite time was the second year when you really came into your own, and 3 points. Or no, was it 5 points? We were leading going into Meeker.
That's a sore subject.
Dude, we had the championship. All we had to do was finish ahead of Blake Edwards.
And we weren't even going for the championship.
No, we weren't.
Just
We
kind of
weren't.
3/4 way through the season, we looked down and we were leading the
oh, shit.
points.
Yeah, well, because we went to Lake of the Ozarks.
Yeah.
And we damn near swept that weekend.
I thought we did. Lake Ozark and Lucas Oil, right? Didn't we
No,
win?
that was the year after.
That was the year after?
The first year we went to Lake of the Ozarks.
I
when we
remember
took
winning the first one.
We took the 360 car with no wing,
Yeah.
and the All Stars were
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
And we won the second night.
yeah,
Because Kyle Clark just gave you the bottom.
yeah.
And I'm like, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, to be a part of that was very cool. So I appreciate you and James for letting me be a part of that.
No, we appreciate you.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was cool to see, and it's very cool to see your progression into the 410 world. I'm so glad that you did a little bit of 360, but I'm so glad you got into that 410 world. It just makes you a better driver,
Oh,
and
the
I
rest
knew
of
you
it's
could
gonna
handle
be
it.
easy.
Yeah,
He's gonna go back to a 360. He's gonna be like, man, this is great.
Yeah,
I know
people in
James. He won't go
Ohio-
back to a 360.
But he will eventually at some point,
Some
right?
point.
Like you got some big 360 races that you can go win.
True story.
And I just
I
wanna
just
say
seen a
people
rider
in
for sale for 50 grand.
Yeah.
people in Ohio do know about you. Even before this whole deal happened, and I was coming down here, and I knew Snow and Janky, and obviously I have no shame, but people are seeing what you're doing and seeing your growth. And when you're in these different areas, I don't think a lot of people are paying attention in different areas of the country, but the people who need
They
to
do.
pay attention,
They do.
are.
Trust me. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I have that conversation with dads all the time.
Yeah.
People see it, man.
Yeah. And it's
you don't
demeanor
even have
too.
to-
Like it's
Yeah.
it's a good level-headed which you have, right? Which is so important. With not just with the car owner side, and learning the language and dealing with your bad nights the right way, but it's presenting yourself the right way for sponsors, right?
I can tell you if I wouldn't have a race car.
Well, and
That's the
that's
truth.
how it should be. All right.
the
But our good buddy Rod Hurley, he's obviously seen something in you, and every time I go into his office, he's you see my boy? You see my boy? I said, yeah, I saw your boy, Rod. I saw him. But
I'll never forget one
but
time.
that
I called
should
Rod.
make you feel proud because
I
that's
called
what
Rod.
it's all
Thank you guys
about.
so much. Thank you.
I called Rod on the way to Meeker one time, and I was like, "Hey man, like I had just started helping Reese and James, and it's like, hey man, we're going to Meeker. You want to hop in? No, snow. I ain't going. I said, why is that? He goes, because I know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna get down there. The kid's gonna be good. You're gonna give me some beers, and I'm gonna start writing checks. and I said, well, maybe. I said, but man, you just gotta come watch him because Rod's a huge fan of sprint car racing from his dad racing and everything, and so. So I'm happy to see that relationship has bloomed with Rod because he's such a good person. He's been involved in the racing world with Darren Pittman and the midget that they had for such a long time, and so it's good to see Bob Hurley RV on the side of that car.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to talk with you two, right? Like you race 410s around here. You race 410s in Ohio. You've never raced down here in a 410. You've never raced in Ohio in a 410. They're totally different. You can ask him.
Oh yeah, dude,
totally
it's tough. Yeah, it's tough. Both places are tough.
Do you feel with that? I know it's hard with James's farming schedule, trying to get away and all that, but do you feel like you would ever go to Ohio and race up there, say for like, because All Stars are back, right? So they might have a speed week. And do you feel like you'll ever come down here and do like some Power I stuff or even whenever High Limit comes in?
Yeah, it's kind of funny you bring that up. A couple of things have happened the past month or two to where we're looking at kind of like trying to make October, November swings.
Oh, nice.
You know, some sponsorships kind of picked up a little bit, a couple areas, and then we were talking about, you know, hey, maybe it'll be best because of my schedule to like get a 360 with the Tennessee move because now I'm living in Tennessee. I'm actually traveling to Ohio on the weekends to race and stuff like that. Okay. So that's kind of been like thrown around. One thing I think is it's like, and Shane would elaborate on this a lot more than I would, but like track conditions and like how the dirt races. So like at Butler, like what the dirt is, even though it is a cool track, is high banked, has good straightaways, like there's a lot of good things about it. But then also having the fluff because it's dirty and the way it blows off and like knowing how to like stick that right rear. And then like I think about like when I spent my time in like IRA in Wisconsin and how it wasn't gut like that. The gut in Ohio is different than the gut here.
Yeah.
So
way different.
I think that's one thing that was important. Like we've talked a lot about because as long as everything goes to plan and stuff, we have some more partners coming in and like my sprint car, my dirt deal is going to be a lot bigger next year.
Nice.
So with that being said, we talked about like, hey, what to do. And I was like, hey, I kind of hope the All-Stars stay at a 2025 race.
Yeah.
And the reason is to run that and then travel.
Yeah. I don't see it getting much bigger.
But that was always the appeal of the All Stars before it became High Limit, right? Like you could run All Stars.
You still got to accommodate the working man, right?
Yes, absolutely.
That still wants to travel, but still has a job or a business that he owns.
And for me personally and selfishly, like I looked at it like this. So I was like, if that stays at 2025 races and I can have the budget and build my team to run 70, right? Yep. Well, I'm going to run those 25 to be like a principle of a championship. And then I'm going to go travel and learn these different places of the country. Now, I'm not going to drive all the way to Placerville.
Right.
Like
Placerville.
Or Placerville.
Yeah.
Sorry, I rode course. I was in England too long.
You should go. You should go to Placerville.
I was understeer, oversteering. I didn't have boot pumps yet. Like,
it's all good. It's no different than my dad calling it Brisbane. I'm like, Dad, it's Brisbane. Stop.
Yeah.
It's not Brisbane.
Yeah.
But I think that's like a large thing is like being like what made like a Shane Stewart great was, you know, the fact that he could go anywhere in the country, right? Yeah. But how do you expect with the level of the competition without ever seeing different dirt, ever experiencing these different things to do it without traveling a little bit? And I was at first, and Shane will say this about when I first started, I was traveling too much.
Mm-hmm. I
never was like getting locked in to how the car is going to handle at like two places because I was like in Wisconsin. right? That's where my start came from. So I'm like going to a different track every weekend. I never hit the same track. Most was I think we hit Plymouth twice in 1 month.
I've been to Plymouth.
But running some of those consecutive races at first, like when you guys were growing in micros, right? And restricted and all that stuff, I didn't do that. So I kind of went completely that way. And now Attic and Fremont, we've got to the point at the end of last year with the team we've built with Glenn and DTJ, like we've gotten strong. Like we're a contender every night. But with that being said, it's like trying to process the future and then also take a step back, because obviously, you know, if you're a race car driver, you think that you're going to win a World Outlaw Championship one day, and I still believe that I'm going to win a World Outlaw Championship.
If you don't
one
have
day.
that ambition,
So
then
if
what's
we
gonna
think
drive
like
you?
that,
Why even show up?
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, if we think like that, let's take a break and step back, because now I'm a team owner. So like I never expected that I was gonna be that. I never expected that I was gonna own anything. I thought I was just gonna run everyone else's stuff and everyone was gonna pay for it and everything was gonna be, you know, roses and daisies. But not the case. So I'm like looking at it, I'm like, I need to study. And when it's studying, I'm like studying what I'm seeing literally even when I'm down here watching a micro race and I'm watching what the drivers are coming from. I'm studying being in Janky's shop and Steve's shop. Like, you know, there's so much to learn from different parts of the country in their own way. So like one of our things were like when I said that, because everyone's like, oh, you know, this or that. And I was like, or have you guys thought about it like this? And like, that's a good plan for next year for me, I feel like. And I don't feel like, you know, you talk to a Shane when we like that would be someone I would ask it, hey, am I making the right decision? You know, the traveling around the different kinds of dirt, really. But then when you go back to what you know, oh man. Like,
Well, there's something to that, right? Like you go out there and you leave where you're comfortable and get your ass kicked and then go back, you're faster.
Oh, always.
And ain't nobody racing in October in Ohio.
No.
Ain't nobody racing that cold ass shit. Come on down, boy.
Shit. I think we've only got a couple races in this. I mean,
Yeah,
I know
it's been bad.
Yeah,
It's been bad everywhere, though.
Yeah.
That was like race 2 or I think that was technically night 3 for me with my schedule.
Yeah, we've never had this many rainouts at this. I mean, it's been not since I've owned Port City.
Hey, James, how many inches of rain we get in April this month, or this year?
12.
Yeah, I would say I heard it was like 23 inches this month or something.
And of course, I
so-
get thrown into a midget this week, and then it's looking like it's going to rain out the first 2 nights. So,
Yeah. Yeah, well, you never know, man. It's Oklahoma.
Hey, run
You
some
never
guts,
know.
baby.
You never
Let's get
know,
it,
man.
cowboy up. Let's
I'm
have
here,
a
I'm
rodeo.
ready.
So, do you want to go run Ohio?
I'd race anywhere in the
I
country.
know you will.
Yeah, that's a dumb question.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
James, where are we going next?
I'll go to Australia if you find me a car.
I don't know.
Hey,
Maybe
Woody.
maybe
Woody.
Woody can figure out like a ride swap deal. Well, maybe we should just do like a ride swap, and
Yeah.
we just swap for a weekend.
No, I think the more you can do, the better it makes you. Because you know, if you go to Pennsylvania, you're going to be on some big slick half miles. You come to Oklahoma, you're going to be on some small juiced up bull rings. You know, you're just going to be a well-rounded driver.
Exactly.
You know, and I think that's what makes Donnie Schatz, Shane Stewart, David Gravel, you know, you the guys that are champions, they mitigate how bad they are on the tracks that they don't like.
Yeah.
Right? So like I had this conversation the other day. Like if you're fast on a half mile, Aaron Reitzel.
Yeah.
Let's Aaron Reitzel right
Yeah.
now. Aaron Reitzel on a half mile is tough to beat.
Yeah.
Aaron Reitzel on a short track, he's still going to be fast. But for him to win the championship, he has to mitigate how slow he is.
Yeah.
And be fast enough to finish in that top 5 or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I think being that well-rounded and knowing the different dirts and knowing where you like how to race them, and I think that's what I like most about what you guys have been doing, going out and trying these new tracks.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
going to Texarkana and going to Texas Motor Speedway and find different sizes, different dirts. You know, you got sand, you got red dirt, you got black dirt. You know, I mean, there's so many different aspects that, you know, pavement's pavement,
Yeah.
right? And it's just all about how much more rubber gets put down.
Rubber, a little bit of heat, and a little
Yeah.
bit of
Yeah.
the only thing I would say, and it was funny because I caught a couple people off guard about a month and a half ago, because now I'm looking at pavement a little bit different. So because of all the dirt knowledge, when I go to the pavement track, I'm looking at what rubber was laid down the week before to know what the Michelin's going to do, or the Bridgestone, and the two kind of cars we're running. And because I always drive the car, I'm like making a lot of
You get
notes.
a choice on tires?
Well, no.
Who's your baby?
Yeah. It's not all who's your daddy over there. But long story short, like I've started studying because like on the WRL car, we're on Bridgestone. So like so-and-so was at Mid-Ohio the week before. What did it do when it was dry and stand up? And then also like were Pirellis on it before we put the Michelins on it? Like who was testing here at the David Murray? So that is starting to, now that I've got this dirt world, and not for nothing, I pulled my road course program and teams are built with like heads of road course with basically dirt guys. Because we took, and I shouldn't say this out loud, but like if you guys are listening from the road course world, we took a 5-year-old used set of Michelins.
We want them
at
to.
a rain test.
Paul Silva.
And we took them, and Glenn Prince got in there with a sander. And he's like, you sand them? Because I was like scared because they get so hard and all the chemicals come out. And I was like, go ahead. Like, I'm safer that way.
Yeah.
Like, I literally was like, I'm going to, like, please, because I'm scared. And we went out. We were like 4 seconds up in the rain on the day because we sanded them and we did all this stuff. So I'm like,
Simple Green. Did you put Simple Green on there?
No Simple Green. I'm sorry. I didn't
Did you
want
add sand like Clinton Boyles?
No.
Sorry.
But like some of these, I feel like a lot of the good guys pay attention to that. But I feel like that honestly, and Paul said it the other day. He's like, this is what's making you come into your own and be able to put the right people together, because you've got the people who like in road course racing, some of it is just pay to play, right? So like with the pay to play format, how do you give them the fastest car? Like at the end of the day, all my guys on the side of working on the team, we want to win.
Yeah.
Like we are here to win. We have sponsors coming in. We got a bunch of stuff growing. I need this to work. I need our cars to win.
Hell, I want this show to win.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like, I watch all these other shows and they're lame as
There-
shit.
There's winners, and then there's my son's baseball coach.
Yeah, we beat you. Hey, who won last night?
You gotta roll
Who
the
do you
shoulders
think
back a
won?
little.
Yo, Rosario kicked y'all's ass.
Kidding me? I had to leave. I had to lead the grandstands.
Dude,
Like they just,
oh, man.
all
Dude,
his
Shane
moms are
gets-
like,
Shane gets
it's
so frustrated.
Fun. I'm like, you know
He
what's
gets-
fun? Winning. Winning is fun.
Hey, literally, I'm getting.
Winning is
Hey,
fun, folks.
I'm on
Like,
third. I'm on
what
third,
are we doing here?
Third base.
And they're
I'm,
five.
I'm
They're
the
five.
third base coach.
I'm gonna be that dad. I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I'm getting texts. We're in a group message with him, Jen, my wife, neighbors. Our team sucks. Right? It's like, I'm like, we need to be on our team. Yeah.
Oh, it was. Oh, it's so
man.
frustrating. Oh, it's so frustrating. But
I love it. So the Rosarios won. They're probably gonna beat us too.
they beat us up.
We lost by one run last night, and man, our kids just wasn't listening.
Ah,
It's five. They're five.
Yeah.
They're five.
but still, you got to teach them like they're good fundamentals and bad fundamentals about everything, and they start at 5.
Yeah.
Jeez, they're over doing arm restraint. They're over there loosening their arms. I'm like, they're 5. They don't need to be stretching. They need to be throwing back and forth. Let's go.
Yeah, because your team can't throw.
No.
Hey.
Or
I'm sorry.
catch.
No, I'm telling you, man. Like
Or catch.
we're not the best team. There's some teams that
I don't know.
are,
We're
that
the
are
worst
really
in the
good.
league by far, for sure. But anyway,
Yeah,
we all want to win.
they're
and
the
that's good.
Jedi's.
The Jedi.
Yeah,
The Jedi's.
no, that's,
Yeah, we're the
first-
Yankees.
that's the first
We're
problem.
the Yankees. We do have some big kids on our team, though. Oh, Javi.
Yeah.
This kid, dude.
He's so
he'll
good.
probably make it major leagues.
He's good.
Probably make
He's
major
good.
leagues.
Here's the deal, though. I'll tell, and I try to explain this to some of the parents, like to be really successful at anything, right? But like, because I went down the path of sprint car racing, so I know that path. It's a 10 to 12 year program, right?
Yeah.
And if you can't gut that out, you're not gonna make it. You're just not. And like I use Donnie Schatz as a great example. I'm like, buddy, I tell parents all the time and kids, I like, go back and YouTube like 19 like, or even 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, and go watch videos of Donnie Schatz. Like, he was just
Hey, Donnie Schatz was
a good night. A good night was fifth.
Yeah, Donnie Schatz was a liability
Crash.
on the 2001 sprint car game.
I'm
Like,
just
he
saying,
sucked.
like,
You
right?
didn't pick his car.
David Gravel, like, go watch early 2003, 2004 David Gravel, like, just out there making laps.
It ain't gonna happen overnight,
It's
though.
not.
You know what I mean?
It's
That's
not.
a process.
But the
No,
people
absolutely.
that
No,
don't,
and that's what people he's getting at. Like, people don't
they
understand that.
just you got to put in your time.
Yeah.
You got to put in your time. And like, once you start traveling and you go into Ohio and you go to Pennsylvania and you go out to Chico, where it's
Well, and you get
you
noticed.
got 20 inches of stagger, but you gain a notebook, a knowledge notebook, right?
88s.
And it just takes time, man. It just takes time.
Well, and you go.
You got to
and
be
you
able to go through
you
the
gotta get
goods and the
noticed.
bads.
You got to get noticed, and you got noticed. You
He's gonna be okay.
well, no. So I've never seen outside of Kevin. I've never seen somebody other than this young man right here drive the #1 car.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cool deal. I'll be in it this weekend, actually.
So
This Friday.
getting to drive the Sammy Swindell #1 car,
Yep.
love him or hate him,
Yep.
he is iconic in our sport.
Yeah.
Iconic.
Yep.
When your dad texted me and told me you're driving for him at Jacksonville, we were in the 3 episodes at Brandon Lewis's house, and I never got to it, but that is so cool because again, nobody ever drove the #1 car outside of Kevin,
Yeah.
other than Sammy.
Right.
He's never put anybody in a car.
Yeah.
So you did something right, for Sammy to believe in you. And I guess the one thing I want to ask you, because I haven't really got to talk to you about it, and you had a good run at Jacksonville, and it started off a little rocky, right? Like it's a new car, it's a coil
And a tough
car,
tough track.
right?
I love that.
Heavy,
That's a tough place.
right? But like, what was that experience like?
It's freaking awesome because those Flea and Sean and Sammy are way smarter than me and Dad are. Like they got way more
Oh, they're super
experience.
smart,
Than,
yeah.
they know what to do with. But real quick, I do want to say that I'm pretty excited to run it this weekend because Flea called us the other night and said he found some problems with the car actually, and he said he got those worked out. So we had speed, so it's cool
At
to know
least
that.
he didn't say we found a problem and you got fired.
that would have been different.
Yeah.
Because I've seen that.
Yeah.
We found the problem in the car. You're not
Driver
driving.
sucks. Get him out of here.
Yeah.
One little tidbit that not a lot of people know, and I didn't know this, but I was sitting in Sebring, Florida in January coaching actually Jacob Lauder from Oklahoma. I was talking to John Walco about when Kevin Swindell tested a Pro Mazda. Mm-hmm.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so he tested a Pro Mazda, and I want to say like it was probably 4 years before he got injured. The first day in the dry, he kind of was coming to terms with complete different world, and then all of a sudden it's pouring down rain, and Kevin was like lights out apparently in the rain.
Yeah.
And we've talked about that a little bit because like it's just complete opposite, right? So like you're chasing the moisture on dirt, and then in the asphalt you're chasing the
dry.
non-moisture line,
Right.
so like you basically want to get off the driver line where the most grip was in the dry, but now you have to move around. So the rain comes out, Kevin shine. So it's one of those things where bless what happened, it's really unfortunate, but like that was a potential in love him, hate him.
Yeah.
I personally,
Yeah.
I met him for the first time, and we have respect for each other. But at the end of the day, that was what was going to be probably a Larson story, or a Clausen story
Yeah.
in regards to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
He had a lot of talent.
Hindsight's always 20/20. I mean, you never know what could have happened, but obviously Kevin's turned into quite the crew chief and quite the team owner, and obviously they contend no matter if it's a midget or a sprint car. And so we all wish that he could run the sprint car more, but we also know that health issues keep him from doing that. At least we still get to see the 39 car at the Chili Bowl, and obviously CV does a badass job in that car. But yeah, it's kind of wild because Kevin is also the only one. Well, he's the second one that ever ballparked it at Eldora.
Yeah.
So
Hot lapping.
Hot lapping.
Actually,
it was the pace lap for the A main.
yeah. It was.
So Kevin didn't make the show, and this is the story I heard. I don't know if it's true or not. This is the story I heard. Kevin was the first alternate, because they used to have first alternates. If one of the top fours out of the B couldn't make it, there was a first alternate. The story I was told, whether it's true or not, Sammy went to the guy that ran fourth and said, "Hey, I'll pay you the money to just park it so Kevin can run the feature." The guy said, "Sure, why not?" Right? Kevin goes out there and ballparks it on the pace lap.
Yeah, I remember the night. I remember
Yeah.
I actually remember watching the crash.
Second car to ever clear the fence at Eldora.
Wow.
Yeah, he just bounced just right.
Yeah,
It was always kind of rough
It was.
getting
It
into
wasn't
one,
his.
too.
I mean, he was just pace. Like he was just trying to get up to speed. And
Yeah, no,
just,
we just sped up to go catch the
just
pace
hit
truck.
It, just hit it wrong.
Whoa!
Yeah,
He took off. I'm like, whoa!
yeah.
I mean, JPM's won F1 races, and he still hit the jet dryer.
Yes, exactly right. Like crazy stuff happens. Trust me.
Shit happens.
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah.
So, Sean, you kind of touched on it, like ambitions, as far as your 410 careers. Your ambition is to be an outlaw guy, or some form, right?
Well, yeah. So a lot of stuff, that was always the goal. It was outlaws, because what I felt like in the road course racing after jumping, testing for Chip in the Indy car, being 3.5 tenths off Dixon the first day, that was, and then not racing an Indy car after I won Indy Lights races. That, there's a part of that stinks a little bit. Like there's a part of that, like the pinnacle level. Did I win LMP3 championships? Did I run GTD? When I ran the DPI class, was I in a winning situation? I wasn't.
Just telling you right now, nobody knows what the hell you're talking about.
So for me, like this,
and I'm not trying to be mean, but like we don't know all the acronyms.
So the acronyms go like the top level. So like when you look at NASCAR Cup versus Xfinity, like I've won everything in a like Xfinity road course level, right?
Right.
But the top level, I haven't been in a winning situation.
Right. Okay.
And I've had opportunities that seem good. I haven't. So when I found this new love, and then new love, new passion, and then I realized the finances, but I realized the finances that can come in if it's done properly.
Correct.
I realized that my lifelong journey and dream, and I'll tell this, and this is kind of funny, but when you're fat as a kid and you suck at all ball sports, and then you jump in a go-kart and you win your first 2 go-kart races because your dad put a cone out there and said, you cannot turn in till this point, and everyone else is turning in early, but you ran 100 laps at Barnesville, and you turned in late, and you hit one better. Well, that was the longest straightaway leading to one, the second longest straightaway coming off of one. That's how I won my first 2 go-kart races.
That's a great story. That's good.
So I win that, and then I flip, and my dad parked me after 2 races after I flipped because I was scared to pass, and I ran second twice. He parked me for 4 months, and you think about this for a 7-year-old. Kid's running second out of 12 people. He's 7 years old. And it's an 8 to 12-year-old group that they gave me a provisional for. Well, I got parked for 6 months, and then he sent me back. We blew up in the heat race, and I started last, and I passed every single go-kart and won because I wanted to be back in, I knew.
But you learned from your mistake.
I learned from my mistake, but I also was like, this is the only thing I'm good at.
Yeah.
Like in a weird way. This is the only thing. This makes sense to me.
That's how I feel. This is the only thing I'm good at.
So
Just running my trap.
with that being said, there's levels to it, but I feel, and I'm sure I am one of thousands. Like Casey Roderick is a kid that helped me when I was growing up, that had all the talent in front of Chase Elliott that never made it to Cup. And Casey in late models is one of the only hired late model drivers that doesn't have, his dad was a truck driver.
Right.
They went on credit card or debit card debt or credit card debt to make him race legend cars, dude. And now that guy makes a living, works at a race shop, races late models, but didn't have the money behind him to go Cup. So the outlaw deal for me was the pinnacle. with high limit coming in, it's not that it's one or the other to me, but like we were talking the other week with some of the things that are happening with the sport, with our sponsors, with our partners, and we were evaluating what makes the most sense at the right time. What I want to do, whether it's in a midget, whether it's in a sprint car, I want to compete at the highest level possible. So if I go to the Daytona 24 next year, if it's not a winning car, they can pay me. They can let me drive for free. I'm not going.
Yeah.
I don't want to be third place.
Yeah.
Whatever I want to do, I want to be on kill and I want to do in life. So I've kind of had a new refound with a lot of things that have gone through, like owning the team, kind of growing up. Me and my wife are separating, some other stuff going on. Looking at everything right now, all I want is to race cars at a high level and win races.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter which car. So like this week, the fact that I have the opportunity to drive a race 3 to 4 times, because we're going to run the high limit show on Wednesday. We're going to race extreme whenever we get to race through Friday.
Wait a second. Hold on a second. You're running the high limit race tomorrow?
Not tomorrow, but next Wednesday. Sorry, Fremont, bud.
I was like, dang, you brought your sprint car down?
But the fact that I get to race 5-6 times in the next week, and I get to go into extreme for your first midget race, like I know I'm going up against the best.
Are you racing this weekend?
Yeah,
Who you driving for?
Wayne Simmons.
Wayne Simmons, Twister.
Yeah.
Nice.
Me and DTJ were at the shop today. We were putting the seat in, and good, lot of knowledge. Fuzz would call him mad scientist.
Yeah.
Like he definitely
old
see it. And Janky really kind of made the whole deal happen. But with all that being said, like that's how I want to live my life. Like that's what I care about. Like I don't care about going out tonight. Like I care about getting up and going to the gym if we can't test tomorrow.
I was gonna say we're Bob's Turn 5, son. We out.
Well, I mean, like but
Turn up on a Tuesday.
I think that's one thing that makes like the Outlaw special. Like, eventually like you have like a Shane that runs into a Jen and everything works in that situation, and they live that life on the road, right? My deal didn't work out, and now looking at my deal, I'm like, it's about my people that are around me.
Yeah.
Like I want to build them up. I want to pay DTJ more. I want to have enough sponsorship to make these guys whole. I want everyone to go forward.
That's the whole goal, right? And it don't matter if it's a race car or a business. You want everybody around you to be successful, and you want to have the right people in place. I mean, it's just kind of how it is, and it's a struggle, right? Like it's struggle to find the right people to be there and be there for you. So
and honestly, like I can say, like, yeah, I've had a tough road because I started right at the beginning of COVID. I had this happen. I went to the wrong guy. I can tell everything that I did wrong and say, oh, well, that sucks. Or I can also say, like, hey, I'm really fortunate that now I know what I did wrong, and now I've learned certain things, and then look at it from a different aspect and start just trying to learn more and not make the same mistake twice in a different way. Like, and regardless, like, I'm going to chase that dream. I don't care if it's like 49 years old, Sean Rayhall finally has the budget to go World of Outlaw racing full time. I am going to have a team, even if I'm not the driver at that age, that can do it, because let's face it, like being Shane Stewart and being able to just fucking like rip no matter what, like that's it's kind of rare. But like that's how I want to live my life. But that's what makes, I feel like, when the outlaw mentality, when I came into it, when like Shane was still an outlaw driver, that was like the outlaw mentality is like, we don't care how hard it is.
Yeah.
We don't care how
well,
many
we all
miles
had stories to how we got there, right? Like,
yeah, but you had
absolutely.
struggles too.
Oh,
So I
had-
can't.
Oh, dude, trust me, there was many days
Nobody's a
that
champion
I
out
was
the gate.
ready to freaking throw in the towel. I was done. I was over it. Worked hard. Nothing was, working out, and just.
I'm gonna tell you right now, the only person that's more upset about
Keep digging.
him quitting racing than anything is his wife.
Oh no, they miss it way more than me. I don't miss it.
So Reese, what's your ambitions?
So it's funny you say that, because I was actually about to ask him something similar. For someone like me and Snow and Shane, it might be a little harder to say because we grew up watching the World of Outlaws. But you starting on pavement, you kind of came into it with an outside point of view. So, like, let's say someone called you or two teams called you next year. Would you rather go be an outlaw or go be a high roller? Like, if you had both opportunities.
I feel like, so here's one thing, and let me preference this first. One thing a lot of people don't know about me is my dad was against the dirt thing. The only two things I watched growing up on Speed Vision was the World of Outlaws and V8 Supercars.
Yeah.
Which V8 Supercar racing and road course world is not the road course racing we have in the States.
But it's the pinnacle over there
It's the pinnacle
in
over
Australia,
there.
pretty much, right?
It is. Yeah. It is. Me and Jakey were watching videos at dinner before we came here. We were like,
V8
showing them
Supercars is-
Bathurst.
yeah.
The only race I have went to besides for a dirt race to watch, to be a fan, was Bathurst. I flew to Australia, watched just because I love the place. With that being said, I think where I'm at right now is probably I would want to meet with the crew chiefs and everyone and make a decision based on who I feel most comfortable going with. And I feel like if the steady progression would be that the high limit deal, even though it's less races, I feel like that would be a stepping stone to where I want to go. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not saying that one's different than the other, but I'm also trying to be in check with myself in regards to like, I am not the pro sprint car driver yet.
Treat it like your nose and pick one. Pick one.
It's hard when you don't.
Yeah, I feel like you're taking the easy
I
way
like
out here.
that.
Hey, okay.
Let me answer
Which
this.
series?
What would you pick?
Let me hold on.
I got so.
I'm going to answer this for you.
I just want to know
And
which
I'm
one's
not-
more competitive.
I'm not
How
a
about
racer.
that?
I'm not a
they're
racer.
both. They're
Can't choose. It's too hard.
no. They're both the same to me, and I think
I got an
Seamus
answer.
is-
I want to hear your
What's
answer
your
though.
answer?
What's your answer? High
There's
limit or
there's
outlaw?
a reason I asked first.
High limit or
man.
outlaw?
Which one's tougher? Which one could you win first right now? No easy way out. It's controversial, but I want to hear it.
I love controversy.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. Let's say it.
Dude. But I mean, at the end of the day, like,
Dude, you got A and B. There's no
there's no C
middle.
here.
I literally don't think that there's
Flip
a
a coin.
difference. There's not a difference for a win right now.
Okay.
Like, me personally, and after studying everything that I've studied, because now what's different about me at my, like, with what I've done and now all these things that I'm looking at it completely differently. So I'm looking at, like, okay, so you got to go against Paul Silva and Kyle, who's not
every night.
Not every
No.
night. But let's
No.
just say, like, on one night, you got to go against them, or you got to go against Cody Jacobs and Gravel. Same.
Okay,
Like-
but you got to go against Ricky Warner and Rico.
Yeah.
Same. Like, they're all good. Like, the top five is the top five in both of those series.
Cream of the crop rises to the top.
Ripper.
Cole Macedo's coming to his own.
Yes, he
Hey.
is. Yes, he is.
I self-professedly, when I moved to Ohio, me and Cole got into it a couple times, but I gotta say,
No.
when we were putting Foose in a different car last year at the World of Outlaw race, I have all the respect in the world for what he's doing, and he is gassing it.
Yeah, he is.
Dude,
He's
Cole's
on
doing a
the
great job.
throttle,
Him
and
and
he
Wayne
is-
are coming to their own.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're really good right now.
We talked about it last week. You know, he had that run at Hopstot, and then he backs it up.
Yeah.
And yeah, he almost podied him at Eldora.
So I'm sorry
Reese,
I didn't
what's
give you a
yours?
straight answer.
I know. I still never got an answer.
What's your
guys.
answer? Well, I know. I'm not a racer, but I'm gonna tell you right now. I love the World of Outlaws and the high limit. I love the fact that we have that right now because it's helping our sport. But I'm old. To me, a World of Outlaw championship is a World of Outlaw championship.
Let me.
I'm not saying that it's less important or it's not or it's easier. I'm just saying winning a driller is winning a driller.
Yeah.
Right? If they had a different race at the expo and they had like a cantina trophy, nobody wants the fucking cantina trophy. I'm sorry. They want
No,
the driller.
I think if you want your name in the history books, Outlaws for sure. But-
and that's kind of where my deal is. But your answer.
I would say I've ran a lot of both this year, and I feel like I'm going to do worse at high limit shows. Like,
So-
I think the competition's a little bit tougher right now.
The depth on the high limit is a little bit deeper. I
agree
and
with
it has
I
been,
feel
but-
like if
I
you
agree
go
with that.
through and you look at the people who this year are labeled outlaw drivers and who are labeled high rollers.
Yeah.
I think the competition with high limit is just a little bit more stuff. Not that Outlaw's an easy series, but you know what I mean?
No. I think it's been that way from the word go.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the high limit, if you look at drivers, has had more. If you look at just on paper, just on paper, and you look at statistics, high limit has better statistics than Outlaws. And if you take the top 3 out of each series, high limit has better statistics if you take the top 3 out.
Yeah.
Hands down.
But also, I'm for if you win a World of Outlaw championship, you are on the World of Outlaws website. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like you are.
Yeah.
Like they don't have the I guess just the history.
No, and that's
the
what it's
Outlaws
about,
have.
right? Like,
So.
and at the end of the day, you race to win, but you also race to leave a legacy.
Yeah.
Right. Like
Yeah.
it's no different than any sport.
Like
right?
you,
But
you
here's the
want
thing,
your
I
name
was-
up there next
Like
to Kinzer and Swindell.
he has built a legacy. This guy has a King's Royal trophy sitting over here,
Yeah, but
and
like
he
so.
will not let me wear the hat on the show.
Yeah. I got in trouble for even bringing that damn hat up here.
The
But
best
here's the
trophy
thing,
you have
like,
in your
I-
house
so-
is your wife's trophy.
That's true. It's still sitting front and center.
That's it.
Powder Puff Nationals
Fast-
Queen. Yeah. So I was involved with NST right back in the day, and I still feel like NST probably would have made it if
Oh,
Fred
absolutely.
Brownfield wouldn't have got killed. So, and if then you like see all the paths, right? And then, so here's one of the things that a lot of people don't know about the World of Outlaws. When Justin Marks entered the world, nobody knew who he was. They knew who Kyle was, but they didn't know who Justin Marks was. The World of Outlaws, they didn't care either.
Nope.
They really didn't. And it frustrated Justin big time. He's like, I'm spending all this money and they don't even know who I am.
Yeah.
And so as a business guy and a guy that was a huge advocate of being successful in the racing industry, it frustrated him big time. And I saw it and I'm like, man, so I'm like going to the Outlaws. I'm like, listen, like you guys need to go pat this guy on the back and
Do something.
say thanks for coming and what can we do for you? And they just didn't. They didn't. And he was in and he was out.
And look
And
where
I'm
he's
not
at now.
saying I'm not saying that he would have stuck around forever, but I think he would have had a World of Outlaws team for a long, long time.
Well,
If
here's the
things
thing.
would have been different. So the other side of it as a car owner and being involved and seeing that kind of thing, and then watching the high limit, be successful. And then on my side of it, working with them on the promoting side of it, it's hard. My passion was World of Outlaws, right? Like that's where I raced, and it made me a good living.
Yeah.
But I think they're doing a good job. Like they've raised the bar. Everyone's having to pay more money now to win, and but at the end of the day, and the World of Outlaws get it now. You got to take care of your people.
Yeah.
You got to.
It took too long.
It did. Took
too long.
But you got to pat them on the back and tell them they're doing a good job and blah blah blah. But it, I don't know, man. That's a tough
I don't know
question.
if-
And Shane,
I don't know if
The
if
one
Reese
thing I do
knows.
like about the high limit side is that you can go race other races, right?
Yes.
And not dictate and screw up your whole points. I do like that. Now, on the flip side of it, the World of Outlaws always had the demeanor as like, we have the best. And if you want to go race somewhere else, then you can go do that. But we're not going to take care of you. You're not going to be a World of Outlaw guy. So that was their role model, and it still is to this day.
Yeah.
And that's how, they protected their drivers from the get-go. And I don't know, it's tough. I as a driver, I'm jealous that I'm not out there racing for the money that they're racing for
Right.
now.
I think another thing to think about too is
it's a business at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Is Shane let's face it, how old are you exactly?
I turned 18 in March.
Yeah, so he just turned 18. So by the time you're evaluating those steps in your career of where you're going, there's no telling. This question right now might be a different statement.
No, yeah, I think
in 5-6 years when you're at your pinnacle,
Yeah.
you're going in hammer down.
And who knows what's going to happen in 5 and 6 years?
Yeah.
from
So
now.
here's my
I mean,
thing. So
Who knows?
So
I still
Rees-
think there's going to be one series eventually, but
Oh yeah.
I,
So
I
Rees,
could be wrong.
Rees
but-
asked this question: if one team from each series called you, so now I have a question. Do you have one team from each series calling you?
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
No.
I was
That was-
saying,
that-
are
hey,
we
that was a
leading into this?
hypothetical.
Because
That was a
I feel like
hypothetical.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, well, here's the thing though, man. Like, I feel like teams should be calling you,
Well, thank you.
right?
They will.
Like,
They will
um,
be. They will
just
be.
like I feel like with the route that you're going on, teams should be calling you too, right? Like it's like that's what we need in this sport. You know what I mean? Like we need new blood, right? Like I'm sorry, like everybody hates a winner.
Yeah.
How many times did Steve Kinzer get booed? How many times did Donnie Schatz get booed after he started winning? Gravel's fixing to get booed, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the same thing like in Ohio right now with Cap Henry. Like Cap is a good friend of mine, and people can say what they want about that back home. But like I respect Cap, I respect him as a racer. But like he wins, and then
Yeah.
everyone liked Caleb at first. Now Caleb is coming in, taking money out of everyone's pockets.
Yeah.
Like let's face it, like he's doing business. He's here to work.
Yeah.
Right.
He ain't there to make friends.
Yeah,
And he was raised the right way too. Like,
Yeah, so
right? They're a
Mike
hardworking
Henry,
family.
Landon,
Mike
They all
Henry,
know
yeah.
how to work on cars. Great family, but they were 100% dedicated to racing. That's it.
So you got these people. You got these people in these different areas that are like, not for nothing. That's one thing is like everyone like seems right now to be like me, and I'm like, okay, maybe I should be like a little bit harder of a racer in regards to some moves because if everyone's liking
Take
you,
him out.
no, it's not. It's not to that degree because I'm always going to race respectfully, but like at the same time, there were some times last year where I got grief from my team, and they're like, "Hey, like I know we were racing for third, but like," and I'm like, "Well, you don't own the car, like I can't, like you don't understand how many times I've been in debt until this past year. I've had gone into October $30,000 on a credit card."
Yeah.
And worked it off until March,
Yeah.
Just to go race.
just to keep
right.
chasing a dream. So there's different sides to it, but I mean, at the end of the day, I think what we're saying is it's competitive freaking everywhere.
Dude, it's so hard.
Yeah, it is.
And the
It's
only
good.
way
It's good to see.
way to get better is to keep racing.
Yeah.
I think the true test is like when they all come together, right?
Yes.
And you kind of saw that at Knoxville.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't have a tougher race.
I-55, Knoxville too.
I mean, there was,
38.
both series had guys up there, but the guys winning were high limit.
But see, like a cat like me,
They were up front.
Yeah.
a cat like me, with them coming to Fremont, which last year we literally lost 2 of the races from a mag box failure that we found out that there's solder going in. When the high limits is coming down, it's like next Wednesday's imperative.
Oh,
Like
absolutely.
imperative for me to go. Like we are going to make money. We're going to pay bills that we were going to have to pay 2 weeks from then. Like we are going to try to make some money, and we are also going to like try to make the strong suit to get to that next level. So I feel like with high limit and outlaws hitting these certain areas, it's so important for you, especially like when they are within the traveling distance of the sponsorship you're allowed. Like you got to hit them, and you got to
do good.
and you got to basically put your best foot forward.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of them coming around, are we going to Wichita?
Yeah.
You are? Nice.
Yep.
Are you doing Lakeside?
Obviously,
Weather pending,
depending.
weather pending,
Yeah.
but-
You, Lakeside?
We'll be running Sammy's car at Jacksonville.
Oh,
So-
okay. So you're going
Yeah.
to Jacksonville. Okay.
Yeah.
Man, we're running long.
Oh, we got any good questions online or no?
No, everybody,
Just chattering.
chatter. But we
right.
can go on and on and on and on and on. But we're 2.5 hours into this, and
man.
Goes quick.
I'm only 5 beers deep, so which is good for me, dude. When we went 2.5 hours with Tanner, I was like 15 deep. But
And then we ended up talking to ourselves.
oh god, the iPad died. We didn't even know it. God. So anyway, upcoming this week, we'll talk about it a little bit. So high limit is obviously tomorrow at Wichita at 81 Speedway. They're at Lakeside on Friday night. The Outlaws are in PA.
Yep.
The race tonight already got moved, or one of them already got moved.
Wednesday, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So PA Posse versus the Outlaws is always epic.
Yep.
So look out for that. We have the Extreme Outlaw Midget Series at Creek County Thursday night, Humboldt on Friday night, and Wichita 81 Speedway on Saturday night. Shout out to Trifecta Motorsports. Hopefully they can make a good run. Obviously,
If
they're a
Jenke
big.
gets his act together, they will.
Yeah. Yep.
Just depends if he's going to show up to work.
He shows up. He shows up.
Me and DCJ are sleeping on the couch. We'll
we
make
might
sure
be
of
playing
it.
cornhole, but by God, we show up. So and then ASCS is finally back in action this weekend in Kentucky. So
Kentucky?
Yeah.
Serious?
Dude, Paducah, Kentucky.
Oh, Paducah.
Oh my God, that place is badass. Got to
Yeah.
go there last year with
Yeah.
Tyler Johnson.
Wow.
So
that's crazy.
yeah, so that's what's coming up this week. I don't know of any USAC because of Extreme Outlaws. Obviously, Port City will be racing this weekend. Creek County will be racing again this weekend. There is a scheduled OCRS race in Caney, Kansas tonight, or on Saturday, but with the rain, they'll probably get canceled. Obviously, Knoxville. There's so many good things that can go on this weekend.
Yep.
But what you have to do is you have to get out and go support these racetracks so we can keep having races.
And it's Mother's Day.
It is Mother's Day. My wife leaves on Saturday
Can't forget that.
for Jamaica. She will not be here for Mother's Day, but I still do not get out of getting her something.
Yes.
So,
Send her a picture of your slippers.
the one thing I haven't talked about tonight is that you need to go to lumberlounge.com and buy some stuff. Yeah. Go to lumberlounge.com, buy my wife some Mother's Day presents.
Yeah.
Andrea.
It's a proven fact that if you wear Lumber Lounge and Garage apparel,
You'll have
you
babies.
will at least be not single for a night.
You'll have babies.
You might have babies. Yeah. Anyway,
I
thank you
tend to
guys
do.
for coming tonight. Sean, thank you so much for
That
coming
means you
and giving
shouldn't
your
be wearing
aspect.
any of that. You guys stay away from the girls.
Yeah.
figured.
Don't even get me started on the whole TikTok cologne deal. It didn't work. Did not work.
Wear a SRM shirt. They'll run away.
Yeah. Just stay away from the girls
Yeah. Yeah.
for a long
It's-
time, brother.
Yes. Reese, thank you so much for coming on board.
Thanks for having
please go get you some rainbow nut butter
Yes.
at
it's
rainbownutbutter.com.
awesome.
I am a new fan. Get the checkered flag mix to support Reese because part of the proceeds do go to his racing fund. And then they have 65 other flavors.
Yep.
And Tara did get on here and say that you can actually create your own flavors while
Nice.
you're there. So maybe
That's
you
cool.
can name it.
Yeah.
So
When you get a Port City,
Oh, we're gonna get Port City. We're getting Lumber Lounge. Yeah.
You get a Port
what,
City.
What did somebody say? Something about bad decisions. I don't know. Anyway, so please go to lumberlounge.com and support our habit of coming and hanging out with you guys and on Monday or Tuesday night because of baseball. We are here on Tuesday night. So I appreciate everybody that supports us. Thank you, X9 Chassis, for coming on board this week. Thank you, Reese, for coming and hanging out with us and talking about what you got going on. I did hear that you're on Hoagie's Garage next week.
Yes.
They're good
Next
deals.
Wednesday.
They told me to tell you not to say or to save all the good stuff for them next week and not for us.
You should have said that before the show then.
Oh no. Me and Bud and Toad, we're good people. So I had to leave that alone. Sean, thank you so much for coming. I'm glad you reached out to me and let me know you were going to be in town. It was such a fun time. It obviously always runs late when we have a good time because it means we have good conversation. So enjoy every bit of what you have going on this week. Thank you for joining us on the JST Motorsports Bench Racing live shows, episodes, whatever you want to call it. And thank you to every single sponsor that is scrolling through the screen. Luckily, I don't have to name them off anymore because you can actually see them. So if you would like to be a part of the show, please reach out to me or Shane, and we can definitely get you in the right spot. And good luck to all you guys this weekend racing.
Yes.
Good luck to you, Reese.
Yeah,
Good luck
thank
Hopefully
you
the
so
weather
much.
works
Thank
out well for
and
everybody.
good luck to Shane at this week. And we'll see you next week, probably from my garage. And we'll go from there. So thank you again so much. And yeah, we'll see you guys later.
Let it rip.